We're quickly approaching the end of your first year at Star Heights Academy as we finally reach finals week. It's hot outside as summer creeps into view, and along with everything else on your minds, you now have final exams to consider. Distributed through your student pads, you all receive a copy of the Shooting Star school newspaper. Let me share this issue with you. Of course, you can read this in your own time. But this appears on all of your student pads, distributed as it normally is. And after hurrying across campus, you all make it to homeroom right before the bell rings. And it's been a while. It's been a while since we've just gone to class.
It has been a while.
And of course, everyone files in, everyone goes to their desks, sets their things down. And as usual, Nightwalker stands at the front of the class to give his morning lecture. Good morning, class. I trust you are well rested and mentally prepared for the week ahead. As we close in on finals, I will not allow any of you to let up. You will continue to study hard, train hard, and may rest when the job is done. Nightwalker goes on to explain the finals schedule for the week, including which rooms they're in and what time each of the standardized tests are being held. Just showing the screen behind him has the schedule on it. For clarity, these will be testing your superior label, and they will be happening after your final training sessions. So remember to look into options for shifting your own labels if you want to ensure that you pass. But speaking of those final training sessions, Nightwalker continues. Starting later today, and for the remainder of the week, we will head to the dome during final period, with the goal of refining new techniques. We will also be having a guest speaker join us, so be on your best behavior. Is that understood? He looks across the class.
Yes, Mr. Nightwalker.
Yes, Mr. Nightwalker.
Yes, Mr. Nightwalker. Yes, Mr. Nightwalker.
Of course, the class confirms. He nods. Good. I expect you all to be in top form. What comes next is your final physical exam at the end of the week, as well as the coming Summer Student Olympics, should you participate. This event will be crucial for cementing your reputation early. The better you perform, the more options you will have for your sidekick internships. I expect my class to rise to the top with ease, as you have always done. Dismissed. And at that, of course, a little bit of time passes, and the bell will ring to send you off to your classes for the day.
Yum, yum, yummy. It's lunchtime.
Yeah, and we return to the newly renovated dining hall.
Did it get renovated again?
No, it got renovated after Alex destroyed it.
Yeah, because we've seen it different. I feel like, I don't know, it just looks different than I remember it from when it looked different. It just feels like there was a
We're getting Mandela affected. This is the Mandela effect. You did.
It's true. I'm not wrong. I just came from an alternate dimension where Ethan made it look different.
It's true.
The seats were blue.
Oh yeah, after second period, you all enter the dining hall, grab your food, and prepare to sit and eat.
I don't need food. I run on batteries.
Oh, I gotta sit with.
Oh wait, okay, there they are. I couldn't find them at first.
Gabe.
I wave goodbye to Echo as I go to my friendship gathering group.
All right.
Echo is
No one really wants to.
We'll start at the top first, as I see Terry and Alex. You're making your way over to Lawrence here as he's picking up his food.
Cornered him. Absolutely cornered him before he could sit down.
Beat him up.
Yeah, Lawrence is grabbing his food and turns around. Hey guys.
Oh.
Hey, Lawrence.
He nods. To
I didn't mean to interrupt your lunch, but I was just wondering if we could talk later. I have something I'd like your opinion on.
Oh, sure. We don't really talk much. Is it something important?
We could say that. We'll see.
Okay, I mean, I haven't really started lunch yet. But I mean, if you want to talk about it while we eat, like, I don't have any plans. It's not like I have anyone I sit with other than Terry. Hey, Terry, by the way.
Hello. I do not run on batteries.
Okay. He just looks back to you, Alex.
I mean, Terry, if I can kind of trust you to keep this on the down low, too.
I am fantastic at keeping secrets.
Oh, it's a secret. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we can just. I see an open table down there. I guess we'll just start walking.
I'm assuming the food line is like this is the back of it,
It's
like to the right here.
It kind of comes in from both doors, and it's just there are booths that have food, and you just kind of like make your way to whatever. It's not necessarily just a straight up line. It's more like, yeah, you can just kind of walk up and serve yourself, get whatever food is available.
Okay, cool. Terry would grab some pizza.
Okay. And yeah, you guys start making your way down, and as you guys pass by, and you can make your way to your table, we'll stop by Echo, as Echo goes to sit with the members of Class 1A. And you sit down, and Eugene just kind of gives you a side eye and scoots over a little bit to not sit very close to you. And he just looks at you and says, "Don't you have friends somewhere?"
Yeah, I do, but I haven't seen you guys in a while, so and he kind of picks up one of his skewers and takes a bite out of it with a smile.
Alexis and Gloria both give you little finger wiggle waves, and Alexis just like, "Echo, how you doing?"
Good. How are you guys doing? How's classes?
Pretty good. I mean, it's not been too bad recently. We've had a good couple of breaks. But I mean, it seems like finals week is going to be pretty quiet, which is good.
Yeah, I'd say so. After everything that's went on recently, I'd say so.
And Gloria looks to you and just asks, the girl in your class, how is she doing?
Oh, you mean Olivia?
Yes. Is she okay?
Yeah, she's been doing better. Actually, a lot better. She should be fine for the most part, thankfully. It wasn't easy, of course, but she'll be okay.
I imagine it wouldn't be. And Eugene just kind of glances over to you and says, "And Lily, how about her whole," kind of moves his hand, "situation?"
She's, fine. She doesn't really.
So not dead.
No, not. No, she's not dead.
That's good.
She's actually right over there. And Echo points. Where are you, Lily? Over there. He points to the corner table.
Looks across the room and kind of clocks her and raises his brows and nods and says, "Well, that's good. Good to know we haven't had any fatalities in our first year. At least none that have stuck."
Yeah. Thank goodness. Although she's gonna be staying.
She just kind of looks at you, and so do the other girls, and Alexis is like, was she not gonna stay?
I mean, that was always a possibility, but now, she made up her mind.
Oh, well, that's good. It'll be nice to keep training alongside her whenever our classes do that.
Yeah. Speaking of which, do we have any idea what finals is gonna be?
Gloria just shakes her head and says, "We have our guesses, but I mean, every year finals seem to be different, so they could kind of throw anything at us."
Yeah. How much you want to bet it's giant robots?
Giant robots sounds boring. I mean, that's kind of what we do for regular training, right? I mean, I guess unless they're like big robots.
what did that one kid call it? Kaiju, like that big.
Eugene just scoffs and shakes his head, and Alexis is like, I think kaijus could be cool. I don't know what, I mean, maybe just be like holograms and drones in the training dome, but I mean, that could be cool. We have to fight like Godzilla or something.
Yeah. Echo has no idea what that is.
And Gloria looks over and is like, oh, what if we had to fight Cups? That'd be crazy. They just kind of like, laugh to each other, referencing the popular movie Cups. We all remember the movie.
Yeah, we totally do. Echo kind of looks at Eugene, and he hasn't bugged him in a while, so he's gonna like slowly, like without like making it obvious, he's gonna slowly scoot closer and closer just to see if he notices.
Eugene nudges Zyler, like, hey, move. Sure. Scoots over a little bit.
Echo kind of goes, oh, hey, Eugene, there's some food on the seat over here. He scoots closer.
Yeah, there's some food on the seat and you want to sit on it? Get away from me.
Echo just kind of smiles, just kind of happy, as he kind of looks over to the students across and just kind of gives like a little wink and a chuckle as he eats his food.
The girls are kind of talking. Alexis finds your behavior funny. She gives you a little laugh, and Eugene just looks at you with, like, not an amused face, and it's just like, you look like an idiot. You know that, right?
You are so easy to bug.
He just sighs and takes a bite out of his food.
You wouldn't last a week in the wasteland.
Yeah, hopefully I never have to find out if I would. I'd prefer to just stay here, thank you.
Yeah, sand in your hair, you'd hate it so much.
I'm sure I would hate living in a wasteland where people are constantly trying to kill each other and fighting over scraps. I'm sure that I would hate that.
Could be worse. Edgar kind of smiles and just takes a bite of his skewer.
We'll move over to Lily as you come to sit down with the girls, and as usual, Triffany is guiding a lot of the conversation. You walk over and she gives you a little wave with all four of her hands, just goes, oh, hello Lily, welcome, welcome.
Hey girls.
Everybody waves to you. Gabe also waves to you. And Triffany just goes, how are you feeling today, my love?
I'm feeling fine.
Good. And
normal day.
Olivia just nods, no food in front of her. And Triffany just looks to you and says, Olivia says she has been feeling a little under the weather, but seems to be feeling a little better today. So that's very good to hear.
Yeah, I mean, what's been up? Anything we can do?
Not really, just I guess I'm getting used to my body still.
That's fair.
She nods, and Gabe just kind of looks at her and then looks down to his food and says, well, if you need to talk about it, feel free. And Olivia just looks at him for a second and then looks to you, Lily, and then looks back and is like, yeah, I will, thank you.
Yeah, what he said.
And Olivia and Gabe go back to being kind of quiet as Triffany is bound to start chattering away at the table, just kind of filling the air, talking about whatever, kind of recounting recent rumors and whatnot.
Triff, did your planet's like you guys love fighting.
Oh, yes. Why do you ask?
Are you guys primarily, do you guys use melee shit? Or do you guys have, do you guys mess with guns?
We have many armaments. I suppose it is to each taste. I myself prefer the melee, though I suppose ranged weapons are usually held for the larger guns, cannons and the like.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
She gives a nod and a little smile. She says, "They are wonderful for taking down battleships."
I would assume so. I mean, they'd also be wonderful at, like, hitting a normal person, I'd imagine.
Oh yes, turning them into the paste.
Yeah.
And you guys keep on chattering away, and nearby Joey, you come to sit down with your club. As you know, your club tends to be, you know, lively and friendly, but you have a lot of quiet people in your group. As you come to sit down, and you know, everyone's just kind of enjoying each other's presence. Maybe somebody will make a comment here and there, and just kind of be like surfing on their phones, showing videos. You sit down, and Aiden looks to you, a little, what you can assume to be a smile on his face. So just, "Oh, hey Joey!"
Hey.
What'd you say?
Oh, did I cut out?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, my bad. I just, whenever I sit down, I go, "Hi, Aiden. Hi, guys. What are you guys doing?"
Nothing much, just, you know, the usual. Just a little bit of a silence across the table as, again, you know, people are kind of just chilling, but pretty quiet today. Meanwhile...
Are you guys feeling ready for finals?
You get a lot of, like, feelings from the table. Vizula, meanwhile, is sitting upright and just smiles to you and says, "Final season is probably stressful after everything of late, but I'm feeling prepared."
At least one of us is, right? I'm definitely feeling the stress of everything that's been going on, but I hope that in light of just all the craziness that's been going on in school, maybe they won't be so bad, right?
Maya looks over to you and just says, "Is it the physical exam or the standard tests that you're feeling more worried about?"
Mainly the physical exam. Technically on the standard tests, if I really wanted to, I could just cheat. I try not to do that, but, you know, it's all up here. Kind of like points to her brain.
Robert just shrugs with a little croak and just says, "Hey, I mean, it's something you're always going to be able to do. I wouldn't see it as cheating, but maybe the faculty wouldn't agree."
Yeah, thank you, Robert. That's the thing that's tricky about it, is that, you know, it's my memory, but at the same time, it's like memory, like hardwired in there. So it's kind of just something I can do. But the physical test, I mean, I don't know. I don't know exactly what they'll expect me to do, or what I will have to expect myself to do in order to pass. Tricky.
Yeah, Vizula just offers a nod and says, "Well, for our midterms, they already had us battle one another, so I would assume it's not going to be a repeat, but perhaps they'll surprise us."
And then what was the one where we had to save people? There was another thing that we did, that one exercise. I wonder
Robert
if it'd be this.
comments and just is like, "Oh yeah, earlier this semester, that was a pretty big training sim, but I think that was just a regular lesson."
I wonder if it'll be something like that.
Maybe. I guess it could be. I'd feel pretty good if it was. I'm not really thinking about focusing on crime fighting. I mean, ironically, given the name of the course.
Your focus is more search and rescue?
He nods with a smile. He just says, "I think I'm more suited to that. Plus, that's something I'm more passionate about."
See, I really like doing the search and rescue stuff too. I feel a little bit more suited to it as well, just because of my base power set.
Get some nods.
It takes a lot of strain, like, for me to become a weapon, even. It's easier for me to turn into other things. Not like Jay, though, I guess.
Aiden just says, I don't really know what I want to do. Maybe I could just help other people do some good stuff. I don't know."
I think that's why the sidekick program stuff seems really cool, because maybe you'll figure out during that, Aiden.
"Oh yeah. Oh, I hope so." Maya just leans back and says, I'm thinking more investigation focus, like recon missions, that kind of thing.
Ooh, that sounds really cool. I bet you'd be a good PI.
She gives a smile.
I've been watching a detective show, and it honestly reminds me of you sometimes.
She gives a chuckle and says, I like the sound of that. Private eyes. And then the snakes kind of, like, their eyes gleam a little bit as they look at you.
Do you guys know where you guys want to do your sidekick stuff? Is it like an internship?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I thought that was the word. Yeah. I'm asking. Do you guys know where you want to do your internships at?
Maya shrugs. Aiden gives the same blank stare as usual. Vizula just comments and says, I suppose it's going to be based on our final scores and, well, if we participate in those Olympics to get more eyes on us, to see how many options we'll have. Any of us could say that we would want to work with Mr. Fahrenheit, of all people, but would he allow us to? That is another question.
I completely forgot about the Olympics again.
He smiles and says, it's not a standard part of the school year. You can call it extracurriculum.
Yeah, but I bet that would look good.
Robert
Participate in something like that.
Robert comments and just says, for most people, it's almost necessary, unless you just want to, take whatever sidekick gigs you can get. Apparently, if you aren't really sought out by any local or otherwise heroes, at least the faculty here are willing to take you under their wing, but, then it's like your schedule might be a little more unstable, and is there going to be a teacher that matches what you want to do, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I definitely need to get noticed by another place for an internship, because there's no way I'm doing the one that offered for me. She puts her head in her hands for a second, almost like to rub her temples.
And Robert just looks to you and is like, is there anything specific that you're wanting to do?
I guess. See, I look over a lot of it, and I'm just not sure. The more that I look into it, the more that I don't know. And I don't know. I guess that's why I was asking you guys. Seeing if there's anyone I could just buddy up with. Anywhere is better than... And she kind of pauses for a second and is looking at everyone who don't really have places that they're sure to go to yet. And it's just anywhere's better than the offer place. I like a lot of the different options beyond that one.
Robert nods and Vizula just says, well, options are always good. I hope you find an option that is suitable.
Maybe I could just get Great Oak to take me under his wing. She says it jokingly.
Vizula smiles and says, I'm sure if you asked, Great Oak would be happy to. And Robert just kind of looks at you and is like, I have something I'm inquiring about, but not totally sure if it'll go through, but I don't know, ask me about it a little later. Maybe I'll have a more firm answer for you.
Okay. That's exciting.
He just grins and chuckles a little bit and is like, we'll see if it pans out.
I'm sure it will.
And we'll pan back across to the table with Alex and Terry and Lawrence, as you guys have sat down and eaten a little bit, and Lawrence looks over to you, Alex, and is like, okay, so what is it that you wanted to talk about?
She's gonna pull out a piece of paper and slide it to Lawrence, and she's drawn a picture of the Cthulhu creature that she's seen, and she's gonna ask him do you recognize this? Do you know anything about this creature?
You pass the paper over to him, and he looks over this scribbled monstrosity that you have drawn, and is like, what am I looking at?
I saw it when I was affected by the fear toxin and tore up the school. And I saw it again when we went to Super Hell. I saw it in the distance, and I just can't help feeling like it's connected to something, to my powers, to the whole meteor incident. And just if you know anything, I didn't know if there's some kind of magical connection or demonic, or just if you know anything.
Lawrence kind of looks at you for a second, Terry, just to gauge, like, what's your reaction to hearing Alex say this as he, like, looks over the picture.
He wants to see it. Terry's like, you know, takes a bite of something, takes a drink of water, and goes, "Ooh, can I see?"
Yeah, sure, here.
Let's take a looky-loo. Huh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Alex, not to insult your artistic ability, but this is really hard to understand. I mean, could you describe what it looked like, too?
Almost kind of like Cthulhu, with all kinds of tentacles everywhere, and kind of marine but alien.
Okay. And so you saw it during the Phantasmata stuff, and you saw it in Appalea?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when did you see it? Like, did you see it when we were going through the Realm of the Lost? Like, because that fog kind of makes you see some crazy shit. I saw some crazy shit in there too.
Like, out of character, how would I explain that? Because I just like saw it in the background.
Yeah, you just saw it, like, in the folding darkness of the realm. That is what jumped out at you.
Yeah, it was just there. I just saw it.
But, like, not in the fog.
No.
Okay. I mean, it is a whole, like, dimension based around, like, processing souls. So, I mean, I guess the place is big enough, there's bound to be stuff that we can't really explain there. Could be a demon. Demons can kind of look like a lot of things. It doesn't really jump out to me as, like, a specific demon. It just a bunch of tentacles and eyes. I mean, if I still had Malum's book, I could at least look something up for you, but I don't really have the directory anymore, so, I mean, it doesn't really ring any bells.
Hey.
Yeah, that's all right. Thank you. Anyway, thank you for listening.
Yeah, no problem.
Hello? Oh, Terry, like, turns it around and, like, points at it. Just a question, just so I can, suppose my own curiosity. When you saw it, did it see you?
It didn't seem to.
Okay. Just checking. He, like, slides the paper back. Also, I don't think your art's that bad. I think it's pretty close.
Well, I'll take that. Thank you.
But did you see it, Terry? Do you know what it looks like?
Did Terry ever see anything like this?
No, you've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, Terry's like, no. Like, a lot was going on there, so, like, maybe I missed something like that. I don't think I would, but maybe I did. But nope, never seen that in my life.
I mean,
Okay, cool.
is it... Because that place really can mess with your head. I mean, again, we weren't really supposed to ever be there or see any of that. I mean, is it possible that you just were seeing things in the distance? Like, I mean, because it kind of was all folding and kind of like moves his hands around, I don't know, crazy, like fractal shit. I mean,
I don't know, I have a feeling, but I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but
I don't think you're overthinking it. What if it's a sort of entity that can only be seen during a moment when reality's all, he does like the wiggly hand. Seeing in two places is concerning. I wouldn't pass it off as nothing. The first time, maybe coincidence.
Yeah.
Second time, probably an issue. We see it again, then it's probably a
if we
problem.
see it again, something's probably gone horribly wrong.
yeah, I mean, it's seeing it in that realm kind of worries me, because I guess Terry has a point. There is a such thing as like extra dimensional beings, supposedly, you know, things that exist outside of what we exist in, kind of exist on another plane. But I mean, again, I don't really know anything about that kind of thing. I just kind of remember that they exist. You saying you saw it during your Phantasmata high, that's the part that I'm like, well, if you saw it in both places, like maybe you just had a crazy vision and then were like scarred by that, you know? Like maybe it was just like giving you flashbacks, because I mean, that, from what I heard, anyway, Phantasmata could kind of fuck you up, so.
A dangerous substance.
Yeah.
Yeah, to say the least. Well, you've given me a lot to think about.
Well, hopefully it's, you know, I hope you figure it out, and I hope it's not. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I do hope it's a demon. I was about to say I hope it's not a demon, but if it's either that or some extra dimensional something or other, maybe it'd be better if it's something that we understand more.
Yeah, we've dealt with demons before. We can handle those.
Yeah, or maybe it's nothing. It could just be nothing. You know, let's all hope that it's nothing.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
It's probably something.
Nah. Probably not.
Okay.
Orange just kind of keeps eating. We'll pull back the camera, and is there anyone else that wants to hit anything before we leave lunch and continue on with our day?
I literally just want to say, if it's like a pan over the cafeteria, we're at the point of lunch where if you're looking at our table, Joey is like flicking chips into the air so that Robert can like catch them and eat them or something like that.
like lashing out his tongue to catch them.
Yeah, exactly. It's getting silly over here.
It's getting damn silly over at that table.
It's getting, warning guys, it's getting silly over here.
It's getting silly over here.
I just need to be clear. It's silly over here.
We're the fun table.
I am a silly goober right now. I need to make that very
Yeah, you guys are having fun. Yeah, everybody's having their idle conversation. And after a little while,
Lily's watching a video of an old guy dismantling a gun.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, you're watching this video of somebody dismantling a gun. Triffany like looks over and also gets entranced by it. Olivia and Gabe are making like small talk during the video. Echo, over at your table, anything particular you're doing before we pan away?
Echo's just bugging Eugene still. Just kind of just giving him a hard time.
You're rage baiting Eugene.
Yeah, a little bit. He's got to make up for lost time. Come on.
You're rage baiting and it's working. Yeah, after a little while, the bell will ring once again to resume classes, and last period rolls around, sending you all to the locker rooms to change into your costumes before heading to the dome. As you all change into your costumes, you make your way out as a class and go through the light of the entryway into the dome.
Oh, jeez.
Everyone's here.
It's like Smash Bros. Everybody's here.
Yeah,
This
so
is crazy. This is crazy.
yeah, you all enter the dome, and you quickly realize that you are, in fact, being joined by Class 1A today. And it seems like you all are going to be training together this week.
Oh, wow.
You also notice how many teachers and upperclassmen are around. Jackhammer steps to the front and calls your attention with a whistle. Listen up. To prepare for the next step of your hero careers, we will be dedicating ample time to refining your skills and developing new techniques for use in the field. These are not drills, and these are not stress tests. This is the time to flex your creativity and physicality to prove what you can do at your peak. Myself, Mr. Nightwalker, and Great Oak will be overseeing your training as usual. However, since we're bringing two classes together and we wish to ensure every student has ample guidance, we have invited your upperclassmen for more hands on deck. And she gestures to each upperclassman. For those unfamiliar, we will be joined by third-year team Polaris, consisting of Starlight, Sweetstep, and Furin. She gestures up above Nightwalker and Great Oak there. They give little waves. And then she gestures over to her right. We will also be joined by second years Seraphim, Frostbite, Desert King, and Northwind. They are the top heroes in their classes, so give them due respect and absorb what you can. Finally, we have a guest speaker who will be overseeing your training as well. I'll offer the reins to her to explain further. And Jackhammer moves over to the side, stepping out of the way, as from on top of a nearby cliff, we see a silhouette appear against the simulated sun, and a woman in a bright yellow cape appears silhouetted by the light as she jumps down and lands in front of everyone in the classic hero pose. And afterwards, she stands back up, and you all may have seen this hero before, but I'm going to share this handout again, just so you all can see her art. And she stands up, gives a wave to everyone. Hey everyone, pleasure to meet you all. My name is Linda, but you can call me by my hero name, Colossus. I'm very excited to help teach you all. For my background, I was a sidekick for a long time under a fantastic hero who went by Titan. However, life comes at you fast. I had to step up and fill some big shoes as I grew into the hero I am today. You're all going to be entering your internship soon, but that is just the beginning step. I cannot stress enough that you guys are the future. You're going to be the ones guiding Hero Society into what it will become next. You will be the ones to make the world a better place. Though, to do that, you need to cement yourselves as heroes. Pop quiz. Does anyone here know what my powers are? She offers it to the class. Do any of you know what her powers are? And if you do, would any of you answer?
I am... Yeah, go ahead.
Can I roll one of my moves for this?
Yes, you can.
Because I think it'd be funny.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, yippee, yay!
Yippee! Yeah, what's this move? Let us know this move.
It's I read the files. You've learned about the superhuman world through your mentor's resources. When you first encounter an important superpowered phenomenon, your call roll plus superior. on a hit, it's supposed to be like a, usually I can make up a funny thing, but since she's asking a specific question, I fear that doesn't apply as much.
Right. Yeah, you know from reading the files and getting caught up on the lore that this is...
I read her whole Wikipedia page the other night.
You read her power scaling page, and you know that this is Colossus, and her power suite revolves around personal size control. She can grow larger, like to the size of a skyscraper.
Yeah, I'll just say that, like, yeah, personal size control, you can grow. Upper limit, not found yet, right?
She gives a little chuckle and a smile as she gestures to you, and she says, yeah, that sounds about right. Absolutely, that is correct. My powers let me grow larger. Like this. And she'll gesture over to Northwind, who is at the very right of all the upperclassmen. He gives a snap of his fingers and gestures to her as she suddenly, with a boost of wind, leaps high up into the air. In midair, she instantly, in a flash, grows to the size of a skyscraper, blotting out the sky above you. And then, just as suddenly, she reverts to her regular size as she lands, before she lands. And as she stands back up, she continues, I can't shrink, but I did learn over time how to grow individual parts of my body, like so. And she will grow one arm and hand to be much larger, reaching across and grabbing a nearby boulder, tossing it up and down in her hand like a pebble. Now, this is an example of control, which is vital to unlocking more options within your skill set. It would be easy for me to have relied solely on growing giant, but I can't always do that safely, and it's not necessarily appropriate for every job. This ability gives me more options, and lets me utilize the strength of my larger form, but even this isn't perfect. Like, watch. And she will, at this, toss the boulder, kind of like a basketball, off into the distance, and it goes flying, off away from everybody. But as she does, she stumbles to the side, and her arm, hits the ground. Using it loosely can pretty easily throw me off balance. This arm is pretty heavy, Her arm will revert back to normal size. So I needed to sharpen even further. Develop a signature that was mine and mine alone, a way to use this ability that would let me do what I needed to do. Now watch me closely. And Jackhammer will move out of the way as Colossus moves over to a nearby stone wall, and she pats it. Now, in this form, like you guys see me now, I don't have super strength. I'm as strong as a regular human. Then, she rears back her fist, smashes it into the stone wall, and it explodes into rubble with ease. A lot of students flinching from the impact given what she just said. Now, I'll pass it over to all of you. Who can explain the technique that I just used? And it's open to the class again.
I've already encountered her. I can't roll again.
That's so fair. That's so true. Yeah, if anybody wants to assess the situation, if anyone wants to make a guess, feel free. If you guys don't want to comment, just let me know.
I'll assess. I'll assess it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Harry will take over.
Everybody that wants to, roll to assess.
Nice.
Fuck!
Echo.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness. All right. Lily and Terry, as you two are watching, you have a pretty good idea, kind of a guess in mind based on where this conversation has been going, what she probably just did. You're following the train of thought. But Echo and Joey, you guys get a very clear picture. As Echo, you had moved your goggles down for your costume, and Spark is helping analyze. And Joey, of course, you are able to kind of play back these moments. You watch as she threw her punch. You watch at individual frames as she grew her fist to max size for a fraction of a second. exerting maximum force only on the moment of impact with the stone. And this reads to both of you as like, well, that level of control seems nearly impossible, given that her powers, from what you can tell, are controlled through tension in her muscles.
Oh, that's insane.
Does Joey raise her hand?
I think that, honestly, with you, I want to say that I was kind of basing it off of just who rolled highest. I think you should get the question.
Alright. Echo kind of raises his hand a bit sheepishly.
She gestures over to you to give you the floor.
You grew your hand at the for a fraction of a second, I think, and hit the wall, ma'am.
She gives you a smile and snaps her fingers and says, "Very good. Yes. This level of control is very difficult, but he's absolutely correct. Exerting as much force as I can just on the moment of impact. This is one of my signature moves, and I call it my Flash Fist." And at this, the students are murmuring to each other in regards to this moment of power exertion. And the wind billows her hair and cape a little bit as she continues. "The key is developing and sharpening your skill to perfection. To go into battle with a plan, you need to know your options. To know your options, you need to know what you are capable of. And you all are so young. You'll develop many such skills as you get older, but our goal this week is to help you start on that journey. It's also great for publicity, which is where we can lean into the social aspects of being a hero. What can you put on a shirt? So, this week, you all will be practicing and developing new executions of your powers. Your very own signature moves." And now, Ethan is going to step in place of our lecturer here, as I'm going to share with you all.
I shoot this new NPC that just entered, shoot them in the head.
Wait, where's the DM token?
If you had a token that was just an actual picture of you, I think I would have laughed till I cried.
No, but here I am introducing a brand new custom move called the Signature Move.
My reading glasses on?
Yeah, just as a brief explanation from me, as is usual when I introduce a new mechanic like this, obviously this is introduced with the trust that you guys won't just throw it out willy-nilly, that you will throw it out if it makes sense. But it is just what it says on the tin. It is an opportunity for you to create a signature move, or a series of signature moves. Whenever you use this, you can develop another new move, but this isn't supposed to be like if you're directly engaging a threat or unleashing your powers where you are just using your abilities in a new way. This is something that you're oh, if I was in a fighting game, this would be in my moveset, or this is my ult or something. Examples, if people know Naruto, think Sasuke using the Chidori, Rock Lee using any of his Lotus techniques. It's something specific that you can call back to. And if you make a signature move, you don't have to use it in the exact same way. The whole purpose of this is that you have a move where you will roll using your highest label. You can choose whatever benefits you want this move to have and exert. But for each benefit, you're going to have to take a drawback with it. Full hits, partial hits, it's kind of a battle of balancing the drawbacks with the benefits that you want, but if you miss, you mark a condition for each drawback. So, the more benefits you want from your ultimate move, the more possible it's going to be that it backfires on you. But it's rolling using your highest label, so that's kind of the play there. But I want everyone to, take time, whether in this session or between sessions, think of what you want for signature moves. And by the way, it can be anything. It could be for someone that is a force of nature, like Alex, or someone that's a firebender, it can be this big, spectacular attack. But for someone like Terry or Lily or Echo that is more physical, hand-to-hand, it can be a combination move. It can be a fighting style, just some kind of operation. However you guys want to use it, it's just meant to be a fun thing for all of you to use. So, with all of that said, Colossus, having finished her lecture, she's going to smile to you all and wish you luck. And as everyone begins preparing themselves, the dome is divided up into multiple unique regions. Each of the regions has a teacher or an upperclassman overseeing them, but they still strike you as surprisingly large. And it is everything. You see this canyon landscape that you're in right now. Off in the distance, you see a simulacrum of Terminal City. You see a flooded cityscape. You see snowy mountains. You see the landslide going over the highway. You see, like, a volcano burning buildings. You see an area that looks like space. Anywhere that you have trained before is basically a part of this big amusement park of biomes. So, as I extend the offer to all of you, I'll go down the list one at a time. But as you are training and preparing, I want to know where each person wants to go, whether you choose a teacher, an upperclassman, or like what kind of area you want to be training in, and what is your character kind of thinking in terms of what ideas they might have for a signature move. So I'll start with Joey, as everyone is separating and going to their new places. What is Joey thinking for this training?
In terms of like being, so it's what I'm doing to train, but also how I'm developing a signature move. That's kind of what's coming together right now. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because oh gosh, I have so many different ideas. I think that area-wise, I think I am gonna be in the canyon.
Okay.
Yeah, like the canyon type area that we're in. I am digging that a lot for just me doing some all-terrain type stuff and kind of working on just weird, like rocky roads and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think as just like a base, like I'm in my power suit and everything, my superhero suit, and I'm gonna have basically almost like something that I think Joey would be developing for themselves, which they love to have their roller skates so that they can skate around.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they have something similar to that, but something where it doesn't have to be on a flat surface at all times.
Mm-hmm.
So that they're able to zoom around with like rockets on their shoes essentially, but still not have to fully transform into a car in order to get maximum speeds.
Right.
I have so many different ideas for a signature move, honestly. Everything from... Because the rocket boot thing is going to be increasingly just a very, like, big thing that all three of my different characters kind of do, and they have done it. And so I love the idea of doing, like, a rocket boot kick that just absolutely incapacitates whoever I'm fighting. But there's so many bigger ways that I can go with it, so I just need to rack my brain a little bit about it. I think, though, once they start honestly, like, practicing a little bit, I think they're really intrigued by what Colossus did, and Joey can technically make themselves bigger. I wonder if Joey can try and push themselves a little bit to the limit to see if they can transform that quick to get that type of reaction from their own powers.
Yeah, that makes sense. You kind of are taking that inspiration. You're like, I wonder how this would apply to my own abilities. It makes a lot of sense. And
yeah.
You do see that Colossus is kind of still overseeing the area. So of course you'll have some opportunities to maybe ask her like, oh, how do you do this or that? Or to just kind of do it and let her watch over. But yeah, we'll move along to the next person on the list, and we'll return to everyone in a little bit. But the next person I want to ask, let's go to Echo. Where do you want to go, or who do you want to go with? What does your training look like? Ideas for signature moves? You know, let us know what you're thinking.
Echo would probably find like the construction buildings, or even the buildings he fought Gabe in. And just he kind of lacks like what's the word? He can't throw a punch to save his life. So Echo's trying to figure out ways of enhancing like his up close. He's better at a distance, so he's trying to find ways to make himself better up close. And one such idea he had was using his arrow, but instead of using it as like a bow and arrow, or like an arrow. Or, he was going to use it as like kind of like on the point of impact to kind of like send one of the bolts into somebody to kind of, more particularly the force bolt, to kind of give it a little bit of extra punch.
Right.
Or even some of his other bolts to like augment it, his punch. Basically a close range option opposed to his longer range specialty.
Makes sense.
Would probably be his thing. And he'd want to work more in closed combat areas because easier to close the gap, but also he didn't do too hot in the Gabe fight, so he's just practicing in something that, you know, is common in Terminal City.
Right, you're practicing on like maybe some of the droids that are used for sparring and just being like, okay, I'm gonna like try this against some regular people, see how it does in close quarters, that kind of thing.
And like weaving his other techniques, like with his portals and his God forbid his grapple hook work, his grappling hook as well. But yeah, that's what his training looks like right now.
Makes sense. And actually, you know what? I should have had Chloe do this, but I'll start having you guys do this. Will, pass it over. Who do you wanna see next?
Hey, you know what? I wanna see Dako, what do you got for us?
How long has it been since? It's been like a couple of days or a week since the last session, whatever, right?
Right.
I think, and also because I think I would probably want to use the grappling hook and smoke bombs that were previously mentioned. I think Lily would have her new outfit.
Okay.
And so I think she would have, which means I think she would have her grappling hook. So I think her practicing today would just be going wherever Nightwalker is, just because she has, where she is doesn't really matter, and she'll just find somewhere to sit and is going to like start practicing taking apart her grappling hook and putting it back together. Because I think she would have made a big stink, that's the first word that came to mind, a big stink about wanting to, if she's going to use a gadget, she wants it to be one that she, if she needed to, she could fix or like put together herself, so it feels less like, you know, she's being given a handout. It's like a thing that she could control and she could maintain, so it feels more like her own thing. So she's just going to be practicing understanding that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And also because she, you know, I'm not going to come up with a signature ability. She hardly has an ability.
Yeah, well, with that, you're definitely able to find your way to Nightwalker, and you see that he is going to be watching over the city area. So you can make your way and follow him in order to just kind of stay in the area and be like, okay, you know, I can always go to him if I need to get a little bit of advice or, you know, kind of direction for where to look next. But yeah, that sounds good. Who do you want to hear from next?
I want to hear from Alex. I want to hear how Alex is going to adapt the lunchroom kid annihilator into a signature move.
Yeah, I don't know about atomizing people being my signature move.
But it'd be so effective.
I've been trying to brainstorm multiple ideas, and one idea I had was kind of like a wormhole, like trying to be able to teleport people out of danger by creating such an intense gravitational force. But I also like a big dramatic environmental thing. Like I was thinking, like maybe being able to control like multiple centers of gravity at once, or like build some elaborate structure or something like that. I was kind of leaning towards like the collapsing road, because that seems like a good place to practice in terms of, because she wants to focus on like the rescue and that aspect of how her powers can help people.
Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, so you end up making your way to the collapsed road, and it feels very familiar as you make your way here. Hey, there you are. As you make your way here. Yeah, we'll hide you. We'll come back to you here in a little bit. But you make your way to the collapsed road, and it feels familiar because, you know, this is kind of where you ended up going during the natural disaster training. A few other students scattered along this long area. It's like a long, winding highway on the side of a road that's collapsing. And yeah, then we pass it to the final person, Terry.
Hey, Terry's heading straight for the buildings.
Okay.
He knows what he's up to.
You go into the cityscape, or you go to the buildings that are on fire?
Cityscape. Fire will not help in the situation. Might experiment
Bad
with
memories
later,
there.
but we are just all in the buildings.
All right. And yeah, what's his intent?
Terry has a lot of ideas. I'm talking like a lot. Not all ethical, so he's not going to be going over everything. Gonna have to talk with Echo at some point though. But there was a really fun idea he had. Colossus kind of like nudged something in his head, and he's like, at the moment, the biggest issues with fear toxin are A, they have to be inhaled or ingested, and B, it's very noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's kind of scary looking, and he's wondering if he can like slow broil frog method it, where like he gets it thin enough and saturates an area enough where people don't notice.
Mm-hmm. Like you're gonna have them like slow bake over the course of an encounter. Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Then you make your way to the city, and as we go around, let us head back to the canyon, as we will follow up with Joey first. Let's see here.
You have to think more messed up.
So making our way back to the canyon. Mosaic, you are here and you are practicing in an open area with these large red rock structures around you. And you are practicing your skating to try to, make sure you can maneuver the area pretty cleanly. As you are training in this way, roll to directly engage a threat, just for the physicality. Like, how are you doing as you're practicing here?
Sounds good. That sounds good to me. Let me do this.
Actually, no, instead of that, what's your highest label?
Savior.
Let's roll Savior then. You are moving around with the intent of protecting people in this situation. That is your intent. Yeah, there you go. So to describe what this looks like.
So there's something kind of specific. While they are moving around, maneuvering themselves and stuff like that, they're kind of throwing out their arms to form things like shields, to form shields that are now thrown separately of themselves. So, like, I've had many moments with Mosaic where they create something and then they essentially throw it, or they make some sort of barrier. And so they're kind of practicing that, both their aim and also creating bigger and bigger kind of shields in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're going around, you're like skating along. You see this area in the center, and you're like, I can do a trick on this, and you like skate all around it like it's a full pipe, like you're doing skateboard tricks.
Yeah. Yep.
And yeah, you do like a little flip in the air, you manage to hit your targets, and successfully, like there's somebody that's set to fall off of a bridge, and you manage to catch them and bring them to safety quickly. And you're feeling like a speedster right now. Like you are moving fast and efficient, which feels great.
Yeah. I also do want to try that thing where I try and grow my fist really big to hit a rock.
You know what? Yeah, for this one, let's roll to directly engage a threat. Let's see how this feels.
Yeah,
Actually, no,
let's
sorry.
imagine.
I keep thinking of a default. Roll instead, unleash your powers. This is a test of your freak.
Oh, okay. Yikes.
I like to think you're running around doing this, like, fast saving people, and in between saving one person and another, you just real quick turn around, punch a wall really hard, and then turn back around.
And I feel like that fits too, because I got like a partial hit, which means like I'm probably doing it all right, but not like as fast as Colossus was.
Yeah, you like were able to scan the footage of her doing it in front of you frame by frame, and your body shifts in a way to mimic it. You create this massive fist and smash into rocks, and whether you just miss the timing or you just smash it with a giant fist and then have to change it back to normal after. You're close and you get the essentials, but you're like, man, my body isn't shifting as quickly as hers did right now.
Yeah.
And that, like, that might stun lock you a little bit, because you're like, what? Wait, that's like my thing.
Is Colossus watching this?
Actually, yeah, as you are doing this, right now she is making the rounds, and so you can see, like, up nearby, she is on top of, like, a pillar of stone, looking down at you with a little smile as her cape billows in the wind, and she's just watching you approvingly as you are just practicing. You know, she's seemed like she has been impressed.
When I see her, when I finally notice her and I'm looking at her, I go, "Hey, how did you do that?"
She raises a brow, and she'll leap into the air and then land in front of you. She stands up and says, you mean the flash fist technique?
Yeah, I feel like I want to say that I do it as fast as I can in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like hers, you know? It's not like in a quarter of a second. It probably takes like 2 seconds, but she clearly watches as my fist kind of grows in size and then goes back down. How'd you do it so quick?
Well, I've had a lot of years to practice the technique. Let me see. She kind of clenches her fist, pulls her fist back as she is aiming at a wall. And she says, my powers are controlled by my muscles, or at least that's kind of how it was explained to me. So I really feel it out, and she punches forward, and once again, you know, in a flash, in a way where if you weren't scanning the footage, you don't even notice. Like, you can't even see the fist get larger. Moment of impact, bam! A boulder is obliterated in front of you. And she turns to you and says, it's something that I've practiced through a lot of experience, but it's kind of also just, you feel it out sort of thing. Your power, you're a shapeshifter, right?
Yeah, of sorts.
Well, I think that if you want to utilize this technique, or maybe even a version of it, your power set is very well suited to something like this. So I think it'll come naturally to you, but you just need to keep practicing. Just worry about the moment of impact. If you can feel when the moment of impact is going to be, you focus on that and that alone, and then you release. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I kind of like turn towards the stone, like the same rock wall that we're both standing next to. I want to try again.
Okay. Roll freak once again, but get a +1 modifier to it.
Okay. Oh gosh, I hope.
Yeah, once again.
Same thing.
Yeah, once again, you punch, and you get a very similar result, and you kind of flex your fingers a little bit. And, you know, she gives you a nod and says, the fact that you can shift that quickly already is a really good sign. Just don't worry about trying to get it immediately. Remember, it's all about control, and control might come with time. If you get it sooner, you know, obviously that's going to be a great thing, but don't stress. Just keep practicing. Only worry about that moment of impact. And she'll kind of stand here with you if you want to keep practicing over a period of time.
Yeah, I think before going into it, I would just say, whenever you were getting started, did you go to Star Heights Academy too?
She gives a little smile at that and says, that's an interesting question. I mean, I didn't go to Star Heights, no. It is kind of this thing where it was being formed while I was doing my sidekick work. There was an offer to come on board, and I tried out some preliminary classes, but it wasn't really Star Heights yet. It was more of a program rather than an institution. But, you know, that said, once it was finally an institution, I had already moved on to herodom, as it were.
How did you know what kind of hero you wanted to be?
That's another really good question. Well, I do a lot of crime fighting because my power is really physical. It seems like a pretty safe bet. And the hero I worked under, Titan, was also a crime fighting focused hero. But something about the strict focus of finding villains, taking them down, it's not that it didn't sit right with me. It's work that needed to be done, but I felt a lot more when it came to defending and protecting people. I can make myself into a giant shield. At least that's how I see it. So I started to focus more on the search and rescue element. But of course, I'm still called for plenty of crime-fighting jobs. It kind of just matters what's needed at the moment. But it's really just about where I'm being called to, where it feels right that I'm doing the work.
That's been my biggest thing. I can't decide whether or not I want to go more into crime fighting or search and rescue. My power set allows me to do a lot of both, but most of the time, if it's my choice on what I transform into, I transform into something fun, like a boat or a car or so, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I have to transform into other things that are a little bit more aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Well, that makes sense. Well, do either of them call out to you more or make you feel better about the work you're doing, or are they about the same in your mind?
For me, personally, I think that I like turning more into the different vehicles and motives of like ways to move around more, have more. I like saving people. That's kind of what it is. Not
Mm-hmm.
so much the fighting part, but saving my friends.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think really at the heart of most heroes, at least most heroes worth their salt, that's going to be very important. And you can protect and save people by doing a lot of different kinds of jobs, but it's a part of the field that is sadly a little overlooked, search and rescue. There are people that are in natural disasters or people that are being affected by the aftershocks of maybe a battle that happened that took place against some giant monster or some big villain. But also, while you're thinking about this, as a hero, it's good to have a focus, one type of job that you focus on and look for, but it's not really an end-all be-all. You can do a little bit of both, and you likely will be, so I wouldn't worry or stress yourself too much about the exact nature of where you're going to go, but more just think, where is it that you do feel the most fulfilled? And if you chase that, I think you'll be happy with your decision.
Joey smiles at this and definitely takes it in, and then goes into after that just being like, thank you, and then goes to punch the rock wall again, and I'm gonna get into trying to practice that while Colossus is here to guide me.
Yeah, she's going to, arms crossed with a smile, give little nods and give little pointers as some time passes and you are able to practice this move.
I have a question about the signature move. Does the signature move need to be offensive?
No, it does not need to be. It can be a support move. It can be a lot of the bullet points and descriptions in the move are meant to be a little more open-ended. You could choose. You could choose affects a wide area, and you could be like a Professor Xavier, I'm reading minds far away from here.
I feel like I know what I want to do.
Okay. And again, for a reminder for everybody, if you decide on a signature move and you use it once, that doesn't have to be the end-all be-all. You always use it exactly that way. We can play with it. I want there to be freedom so you guys can flex your creativity there. But again, the idea is that you're in-universe coming up with signature moves because that's fun. But all right, as you are practicing this with Colossus, let us move along to... Actually, you know what? Popcorn it. Who do you want to see next, Chloe?
Yeah, so I personally think that it would be fun to see Lily, who is practicing with Nightwalker.
All right. Then we will move to the city area. And get us ready here. As we move over in that direction. Get this back on. And as mentioned, Lily, you have gone into change, and you have got your brand new hero suit on. And let me share this with the class. Never mind. Well, I guess actually, yeah. This picture is kind of, there isn't really much outside of the token. I was about to be like,
Sure.
oh yeah, let me share this picture with the class. And I was like, oh, that's why I didn't put it in here. So, yeah, describe kind of what this costume looks like in full for us.
I do have the image that I sent to the person I commissioned of the fun. Hang on, let me get it. I can send it in Discord for the group. Squab. It also has the pictures of the dude from Lupin that I used for reference for the hat thing.
Great. This is fantastic, dude.
It's like a little
Very
bit
cool.
like what I imagine like a cat burglar thief would look like in like a fucking, I don't know, steampunk setting or something. It's just, you know, I got the little suspenders. I've got the I'm gonna sweep a chimney hat, but I've got the domino mask. I've got gloves.
Mhm.
I
It's a
have my
vibe.
grappling hook strapped to my hip.
Yeah, as you are here in the city, what does the initial training look like? Or does she even start before going to Nightwalker? Like, what is her kind of mentality here?
I think she just goes, finds wherever Nightwalker's standing at the moment, and then probably just sits like on a roof nearby if we're in the city, and just will find somewhere to sit, and we'll just start. Like, she sets up her phone with a little, like, one of those back stands that like props it up, to just watch, because I assume it's not like a mass-produced model of grappling hook,
Right.
so she's having to resort to just watching dudes deconstruct guns to get the idea of what it is. So she's just watching Gunman Gary 72, just some random guy on YouTube deconstruct some old gun, and she's trying to like kind of get the vibe of like, okay, I should look out for like this kind of part. This is how a trigger works, so I can know how to put it back together.
Yeah, you're sitting on this nearby rooftop practicing with this, and it's pretty apparent to you that Nightwalker kind of notices you nearby and is keeping an eye on your practice with this, as he is also watching over a few other students. And nearby, you actually see that he's also watching over Olivia in her training. And she has come to the city.
Is
and
it like
practicing
Olivia? If like I'm on it was like Olivia down, and I guess we're both just sitting looking down at her.
Yeah, you're both on like nearby but separate rooftops, looking down on Olivia and her training at the moment.
Lily looks up every so often between watching the YouTube guy.
And yeah, as you are kind of glancing down to Olivia's training, you see as she seems to be practicing with placing her hands on the ground, and you watch as the ground around her starts to wither and decay due to the rot, but it extends very subtly as small cracks on the ground as a building in front of her just suddenly starts to collapse without her directly touching it. And she is just practicing this and tearing through infrastructure. And I want you to roll to pierce the mask.
I'm so good at that. Mundane. I do luckily, people, have a +1, I believe. Yeah, because it's targeting Olivia. How is that possible?
You got, holy shit, I think you got
That's
max
you got
rolls.
2 6s.
Hang on.
You did. Double crit.
No, it should be, okay, I must have inputted it wrong. It should be, because I have -2 mundane, I'm still marked angry, because I've never been able to get rid of that, even though at this point, she's not that mad anymore.
Yeah.
So I have -4, then -3, so it's actually 9.
Okay, I mean that's still very good. As you are watching her, the first thing that jumps out at you is, based on how you know her powers to work, the fact that she is affecting things she's not directly touching is like, oh, well, her powers have escalated. They weren't able to do that before, so that is new. But there is something in her movements as she is practicing that feels like aggressive, like extra aggressive. Like she is treating this place like a venting ground, basically.
Yeah, does she know I'm up here? Is she aware that I'm watching her?
She doesn't seem to have noticed you.
Okay. Then Lily will scooch back a bit to hopefully not get noticed, because she doesn't want to make Olivia, I don't know, feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
If Olivia is using this as a moment to vent, she doesn't want to ruin that.
Mm-hmm. And as you do that, Nightwalker kind of steps over next to you. While you weren't, looking, it seems like he's just closed the gap and is standing by you. And he glances to your work on the grappling hook and says, "How is your work coming along over here?"
God, Jesus Christ. Could you, knock on the ground to signify you're here, could clear your throat?
He taps his heel once.
Yeah, okay. It's boring. But, I gotta do it. It's just, I think it's just extra boring because we came here to, and, Colossus was like, oh, we're gonna do fun signature moves, and then I have to do, what feels like actual homework.
He gives you a little grin and says, "Do you think you're starting to understand it a little more?"
I guess. I mean, I'm getting the parts that this has in common with an actual gun, I'm understanding pretty well. It's more, the stuff I'm gonna have to intuit, because we don't really have, a video guide for this.
That is true. Well, hammering away at it for an extended period will give you plateauing results. To make things a little more fun, why don't I give you a personal lesson?
Okay.
He kind of nods for you to follow him into another section of the city. Kind of giving a glance down to Olivia as he has also taken, she's doing well, she is okay, I'm going to give her a little bit of space right now. He's the shadowy type of teacher to watch someone practice.
Lily follows along.
Alright. And as you two move away, we will pan through the city and not immediately follow up with those two yet. As first, Lily, popcorn it to somebody. Who do you want to see next?
Terry.
Alright. We are going to move to you, Terry. As you are in some of these buildings in the city. And yeah, what does this look like in terms of how he's trying to control his smog output? Is it sort of a breathing thing? Is it more of how much area he has covered? How is Terry practicing this?
So there's a few things. It's a density thing. So because it's related to his breath, it is a breathing thing.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing that's gonna happen is he's gonna be moderately proactive about this. He would tell whoever's around him to not get close without messaging him on the pad first, because this is kind of dangerous. He's gonna try and do two birds, one stone here. Firstly, he's not going to be wearing his own respirator. He needs to experiment on someone to make sure this is working as intended. That person's himself. So the idea here is, fear toxin, it happens pretty quickly. It is basically you're fine to extreme fear, fight, or flight state. What he wants to do is he wants to A, make the fear toxin not as visible by reducing its density. B, have it cover a wide area of a room, so it could take a while, but it's worth it for the effect. And C, he wants it to slow cook someone, slow broil. So he's going to be using this time to A, be building up. He wants to eventually have a full immunity to his own fear toxin, because he's found that's very annoying that he doesn't. And B, he wants it so if he has done this to someone, and he uses his regular fear toxin, they don't know what's getting them. It's imagine you dodge his fear toxin and then you still start tripping. It's what's happening? That doesn't make any sense. That's not how your powers work. Yeah, it's that could be fun. So that's basically what's happening.
This is like a combination of, in order to get this new execution of my power, it's kind of also in part a stress test.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, you have like talked with Nightwalker as he was looking over this area, and you have gotten like holographic, like yellow and black caution tape like surrounding the building that you are in to basically show any other students that come near here, like, hey, don't go in this building. And you are inside. And what is your highest label?
Danger and superior, but danger is definitely.
Yeah, then let's do a danger test and see how well you do. Okay. You are sitting in this dark building, little bits of sunlight streaming in from outside, and you are trying to control your breathing. This is training that you have done before for the previous stress tests, but you are trying to control it even more. A quiet, steady breath rather than hyperventilation. And you are slowly filling the area. And as it comes to mind, the thought of, can I execute this faster? Is that going to be a natural drawback? Is this something that maybe I need to prepare in advance? You sit in this dark building and you start to feel the shivers come over you as your powers do creep into your own mind. And despite knowing what your powers are and knowing what is happening, it can be difficult to talk yourself out of the effects. You still feel this sense of paranoia. In Terry's general free time between classes in his regular life, has Terry been taking his medication regularly?
No.
So it is coming on in full force. It is the paranoia and the fear that you are always so used to. What are the things that Terry's feeling the most paranoid and afraid of right now?
It's not going to work. Everything he's planned, it's coming to a head now with what's happening soon with Maul, with everything. It's all coalescing to a single point. And Terry knows it's why he's taking risks doing this. Is unnecessary, you could say even. He's running out of time. He needs to be more ready. This needs to be perfect. Everything needs to be perfect if he's going to win. Everything. And it's that deep intrinsic desire for control that is letting him continue with this endeavor.
You sit in the dark, the smog swirls around inside you, and the shadows almost seem to move, jumping at you from behind. And the scene almost seems to change around you as you hear the clacking of footsteps on the stone behind you. And just memories of Maul pacing behind you. As with his back to you, you just hear, "You think that I don't see you coming, Terry."
I know you do. I'm planning on it. Underestimating people's for chumps.
He looks back towards you and just says, "Overestimation is a killer, Terry.
Oh, I'm really betting on it.
And the shadow of Maul disappears in the darkness as in your mind flashes of your episodes streak through memory. And roll freak for me. Okay. And slowly but surely, the darkness recedes from around you, and you continue to control your breathing. The emotions don't fall away, but in the very least, you feel like you're getting a better grasp of controlling them. And you also feel that the area around you, the air is very subtly heavier as you are hotboxing this place. And who does Terry want to popcorn it over to now?
Oh, how about Echo?
All right. We pan away from Terry's dilapidated building. We're going to move over to Echo in a very familiar part of the city, in some of these abandoned construction sites, buildings in the middle of being constructed. Physically, how is Echo moving around this space? Like, what is Echo practicing here?
Probably just moving with his kind of a combination of his portals and his grappling hook.
Mm-hmm.
But also he's like relying on running too. Like that's what he's good at for the most part. But he's trying to like sharpen basically using any means of momentum to move forward. Just kind of like finding that. And then he is, once he kind of reaches that momentum and gets comfortable, he's like closing the gap and then just punching with his augmented arrows to try to like give him more, you know?
Makes sense. Then yeah, and I assume also you're explicitly trying to not use your bike, and you're practicing on the ground combat.
Yes. He's trying to, just in case, because you never know, things tend to break sometimes, so it's always good to have options. He is practicing off of his bike as well. Mostly so he doesn't have to rely on it fully, in case something happens to it.
Then first, roll your danger for me to see how is he doing off of his bike at the moment.
Does whatever I am fighting against this one does it
does it underestimate you? Maybe is that what you're asking?
Yeah, does it underestimate? Yes.
Here's a good question. Does Echo want to have programmed his enemies to underestimate him, or does he want to be fighting against enemies that are not going to underestimate him?
Probably not.
Okay. And then
This is
there you go.
practice. Not taking the easy street.
All right, then let's start with that danger.
Oh, this is -2. Oh no!
All right, you're starting out this practice, and you're used to having your bike around. You're used to having a lot of tools. And it's not necessarily your capability of physical combat, but it is this new fighting style that you are kind of developing with these augmented punches and with this momentum-based movement. So it's going to take you some time to practice it and get accustomed to this new way of moving. But as you are kind of tripping over yourself a little bit, now give me that highest label roll, which I'm pretty sure is superior.
It is superior. Oh, not bad.
Okay. And yeah, it makes sense. It is a partial hit. As time is going on and you are practicing these maneuvers, obviously it's something that you think you are geared to be able to do, but it's taking some time for you to practice and get accustomed to it.
It makes sense. He's not a frontline fighter. I'm sure he trades some blows with the robots, and he's like, this sucks, but I need to get better.
Yeah, what do some of these punches look like as you do land and attack? Like, what does the first one that you land look like?
Quick guess, but he like punches it and he like winces as he like hits the metal of the robot and he goes, so he just kind of keeps going, just kind of practicing each punch, just kind of working on like, you know, trying to build up that force first, like with his normal punches, just kind of like dodging and weaving, probably getting hit quite a bit by the robots because he's not used to frontline fighting, so like he's taking his hits as they come, just wanting to improve, but he's practicing, and that's what matters. Because, you know, he thinks this would be a good thing to have in his toolbox, and eventually he'd like try to work in Spark to like predict where they're gonna throw a punch at him, so he could dodge, just trying to get Spark to help him as well to utilize his full kit, as it were.
Yeah, as you latch your grappling hook onto a support pillar and you swing around, eventually you fly into a portal, fly out, land a punch on one of these robots, and you manage to land the timing on this one. And the force ballista fires, and with your punch, the drone goes flying way back from your punch. And you have a brief flash in your mind as you're like, oh, like I really knocked that guy out. Like, it gives you almost a superhuman feeling for a second there.
He claps and points. He's like, he's like, yes, I did it. And he like looks down and just sees bruises and goes, I did it.
Spark gives you a little warning as from behind you, mid-celebration, a few drones are going to keep closing in, and the fight's not over as you continue your training.
He ducks into a portal and just goes to like relocate.
And you want to popcorn it over to Alex, and we can see what Alex is doing now.
That would be really bad if I did, but yeah. Let's see what Alex is up to.
Yeah, we will move over.
Hold this entire session in a hostage situation by refusing to popcorn.
Yeah, the session's over. I refuse to popcorn.
Nobody's getting their scene if I have anything to say about it. Alex, we move over to the ruined road, and as you are at this landslide, it is not really an in-progress landslide. There are certain areas that are like, it's already collapsed, some areas that are set to be like, a landslide is currently collapsing, and then on a timer, it can be like reset to collapse again. What kind of environment is Alex looking to practice in, and what is she practicing? What does this look like in motion?
I guess my kind of goal ultimately is to work up to being able to create little gravitational wormholes and like teleport people like out of safe zones a certain distance away, somewhere safer. So I guess she'd probably start by like some of these chunks of gravel and stuff, just try and teleport small things at a time, maybe work her way up to some of the like victim robots and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're gonna be maybe working in like, okay, this area's already collapsed, let's do it in a still environment, then work up to saving people from an actively happening collapsing landslide.
Yes, exactly. And let's have enough control that we can increase gravity enough to create a wormhole without atomizing people.
Yeah, exactly. So let's roll. Let's roll Freak first, as we get a gauge on like how much control you've got over your powers today. Okay.
It's not a good day.
Yeah, you're going into this and feeling a little bit stressed as you're trying to break the laws of reality, basically, or at least bend them close to breaking, and even just thinking about your forbidden technique you have this boulder that you try to move, and it is atomized in front of you, your hand shaking a bit as you look at it. You're like, okay, that is... I just looked at the chat. But you're like, okay, that is a little much. So it seems like your powers might be a little bit unstable, but it's nothing new. You know that your powers have these bouts. It is connected to your emotions. So as you move through and continue to practice, roll what your highest label is for me.
That would be either freak or savior.
You can choose.
I'm gonna try savior because that's the whole point of this exercise.
Okay. Yeah. Freak is cursed and savior is blessed. That's what we're learning with Alex. As you calm down and you keep passing time, you're focusing on just moving boulders, and as you are kind of able to move some, you're like, okay, I need to get out of my head. I just need to move. I need to get these people out of this area. So what does it look like as she's flying overhead? Kind of paint a scene for us as she's moving through this area. Like, what are the stress points for her?
I guess just kind of keeping an eye out for people that are maybe like in their cars injured or like on the verge of falling off the road if it's damaged or that kind of thing, where there's like an imminent risk is where she would try to kind of teleport the cars or teleport the little robot people and try and practice this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
just try and move them just far enough to get out of active danger.
Yeah, you're focusing on this, and as you practice more and more, this concept of creating these wormholes is not entirely new to you, but it's not something you've practiced. It's something you've done maybe once or twice in actual combat. In a heat of the moment, I need to do this to survive or to get ahead. You used a little bit of it in a practice exercise, for example, way back. But now executing it on someone else that isn't as tough as you might be a little difficult. So while you are able to whisk people out of danger and move them to different areas because your powers are a little on the fritz, sometimes the range is off. Sometimes, they might be teleported and damaged in the process, not atomized, but, they might be hurt because it's a dangerous area. But you're getting better very steadily. And you see nearby that one of the upperclassmen is watching over this area, and he sees you kind of going over again and again in this still environment, a little bit unstable, and he calls out to you and he says, "Hey kid, over here."
I come hover over near him.
You float nearby, and you may or may not recognize this guy. You've run into him before. But he just nods over to the section of landslide that is kind of set on a timer. And he just says, "You've been stalling long enough. I want to see what it looks like over there."
If you say so, but we'll see.
He just kind of gives another nod with a scoff and just says, "Just try not to think about it too much. Heat of the moment. You're able to do a lot more when you're actually saving people from danger than when you're putting yourself in a little black box over here. Go on, get to it."
All right.
All right, and
And
so
I will go, and I will try.
Okay. Then once again, roll me that savior as you start moving through this essentially obstacle course that is happening in front of you. Okay. Pretty expected. Your powers are feeling a little more stable as you use them. Like a muscle, you flex them, and throughout a workout, you might get more tired, but you're more used to how you are moving your body, how you are moving your powers. And it's not perfect. In some instances, maybe part of the landslide hits you. Maybe in some instances, you're not able to save everyone, and the landslide collapses. You got a few people out, but not everyone. And you look over to him, and he just says, "All right, run it again. Keep trying. It'll fall in different ways. It's a simulation, not actually being replayed, so you gotta stay on your toes. Keep going.
All right, and she takes a deep breath and she keeps trying and tries to push past like the overthinking and the anxiety of, oh fuck, I'm not able to save everyone. What's happening? What if I fuck up?
Mm-hmm. Yep, you keep training, and you have this guy barking at you the whole time, and it's a type of support, but it's definitely a little more heavy-handed as he goes about it. But you continue with your practice here, and we will now move back over to someone else as they are beginning some of their practice. We move back out to the city as we weave along a few rooftops. And of course, Lily, as you are following Nightwalker, you end up making your way to an area that is a little more open of a rooftop, a bit flatter, a bit lower down than where you guys were before. But it seems that Nightwalker just wanted to get you to an area that felt a bit more appropriate, maybe not close to where other people are practicing. And he turns to you and says, "How does the prospect of today's training sound to you? These signature moves, as they were called."
I mean, yeah, that'll probably be good to come up with at some point. Just probably not like today, because I'm still, in the process of figuring out what my normal moves are.
That is true. You will have ample time to practice these maneuvers. You will also likely need to spend a lot of your free time becoming accustomed to these new things. However, I have decided to take some of your training into a personal touch. I have ideas as to what may help you on the field, should you be open to them.
Okay, I guess.
And he offers you a nod, and he moves a few paces from you, and he just goes into his fighting stance. And as you see him enter this fighting stance that you recognize from when you fought alongside him at the hospital, he offers you a nod and says, "I want you to come at me."
Okay. What, just like run straight at you?
I want you to try to attack me.
Okay. She narrows her eyes.
He just offers a little smile and says, "Don't be shy."
Okay. She'll step forward cautiously and try to kick at his feet, I suppose, like kick out his legs.
Okay. You do that, and he does a little hop, and you notice that you missed, and kind of like looking up, expecting him to be there, he has just landed behind you. He taps you on the top of the head and says, "I want you to try again, a little more serious this time."
While still like facing, he's behind her, she's going to throw a smoke bomb at her feet.
All right, throw down a smoke bomb, and smoke is going to cover the rooftop here. What are you doing? What's the maneuver?
I think she'll start to like dart to the left, but will shoot her firing hook or grappling hook to the right so that it like scrapes across the ground somewhere to make noise. Hopefully more noise than she will make with her feet. And then we'll attack from the left.
Okay. Roll to provoke.
I'm so good at that. And I think like actually.
Okay. You are moving through the smoke. You fire your grappling hook off into the distance to make that scraping sound, and then you go to attack Nightwalker, and you have executed this move perfectly. But despite that, as you come into punch at him, you see his shadowy silhouette in the smoke. You miss, which doesn't make sense to you. He was there a second ago, and now he is not. And once again, he taps you on top of the head as he is just standing right next to you on the outer side of your arm. And the smoke is still kind of in the area, starting to clear. Do you keep attacking? Do you ask what's going on? What is Lily's approach to this situation?
Yeah, I think Lily just starts to say, like, okay, you're using, like, powers or something, right? Like, what are you showing me here that I could take something from?
He offers you a smile and walks around you as the smoke clears, and he says, "Yes, you would believe that I was using some kind of powers here. As a pop quiz to you, what do you believe I'm capable of?"
I mean, something to do with... I don't know how directly, but something to do with death or spirits, because you were able to hit ghosts. Or were able to hit the Deja, I mean.
I suppose that's not entirely inaccurate, if not entirely true. That element of my physiology does not affect how I move. No, in most instances, while I am able to perform a little more efficiently than most, I am not able to teleport, though it may look as though I am doing such. There is a special sequence to how I fight, how I take on threats. It is about directing your attention to a certain area, and finding where your blind spots are, moving along them, staying in your shadow, as I like to describe it. This is something that you are entirely capable of performing. You have already shown an aptitude for stealth yourself in our training. This is what I wish to teach you. While others are going to be practicing flashy moves for the tabloids, you are going to need to train harder than the others in order to keep up. So I'm going to train you to fight. I'm going to train you in my fighting style, if you would like to use your time doing such. Otherwise, I can leave you to keep dismantling and reassembling the grappling hook.
No, I have done that enough, and I've pinched my fingers more than enough times for today.
Very good. Then he will enter his stance and kind of begins to explain his mentality. When you fought alongside Nightwalker before, his fighting style was, you would almost describe as like elegant, dexterous. It was almost like a very gracious dance across the battlefield. He didn't really seem to overexert himself. He just would glide to his destination. And as he's going to train you in this fighting style, it is, as he said, focused on misdirection, on staying in a person's blind spots, on finding a person's weak points, whether it is the joints of a construct or the pressure points of a person, focusing on those. And as he continues, he says, more than anything, it is about closing a gap. You do not need to move faster, necessarily. You need to move smarter. And you do not need to hit harder. You need to hit the right places. That is how you are going to be taking down big brutes that would otherwise seem impossible. That is what I am going to teach you here, this fighting style. I would like you to come at me once again.
Sounds easy enough. Misdirection, that was literally what I was trying to do. It's just that you, I guess, are a little sneaky little guy.
He offers you a smile and he says, "The smoke bombs are a good start. Let us take a step back, though. We'll work without the smoke bombs, then reintroduce them once you have a understanding of the fundamentals."
But it's just so fun to throw them down.
He offers a dry chuckle and says, "Remember, they are in limited supply. At least they will be when you're on the field.
I know.
Now, come at me once again."
And Lily will.
All right. And yeah, you are practicing this fighting style with Nightwalker, and as this training goes on, he's going to start by just having you attack him and drawing attention to, watch how I move, watch how I avoid you, and then gets into, now I'm going to bridge into teaching you how to attack the opponent, how you need to hit them. And of course, as time goes on and you practice with Nightwalker, it'll be up to Lily how much of this she is able or trying to perfectly adapt, or if she's going to put a spin on it and create her own style from this. Is this elegant dance where he only needs to tap with his fingertips at a pressure point to put someone down her style, or is she going to be a little more brute force with it? Time will tell. But you practice with Nightwalker on the top of this roof and continue on your way, as we will move back to the canyons.
Yippee!
And we make our way back to the canyons. A little bit of time has passed during this training session today. Of course, as you were training before, you had Colossus's undivided attention for quite a while. But eventually, of course, she had to continue, she had to move along and otherwise help other students. And as Joey is kind of taking a break, is there anyone that Joey wants to see or talk to during this training exercise? Maybe see how someone else is taking their training, or anyone they would want to help, or are they just kind of unwinding on their own for a moment?
I think taking a moment to unwind, but I'm also just thinking more about the signature move thing, and I probably have practiced a couple different things while in the canyon. And yeah, I feel like I am just kind of taking a moment to unwind. I don't think that there's anyone personally. I think I'm just training really hard and then taking little breaks in between. I think another really big thing that I'd be doing is kind of just practicing more transformations, and less so the scale of them and different things, and more so the speed in which I am able to transform.
That makes sense.
And how quick I'm able to kind of use my body to kind of form different shields and things like that. Just mainly focusing on speed.
Is this shifting between just amorphous shapes like J? Is it shifting into vehicles and then back, or between vehicles? What does that kind of look like?
Yeah, I think it is. Actually, it's not looking so much like either. It's looking a little bit more like how quick am I able to make my whole arm into a shield and throw it up and protect someone, essentially, or how quick can I make my arm into a rocket? It's not even a full transformation. It's quick transforms that are not my whole body.
That makes sense. And when you're throwing these shields, is it like a Captain America shield, you're throwing a projectile, or is it they fly and you want them to stop somewhere?
It's both, honestly. It's both a projectile and also one of the things that it looks like I'm trying to do is I'm almost taking the plating off of my body in a human form and throwing it out, to which it stops in a singular place and then hits the ground.
Yeah.
Just testing some things.
You're practicing all of this. And
I have a signature move written down. I'm so excited.
You're practicing all of this, and it feels pretty good to get maybe a little closer to some kind of structure with this move. A lot of time, of course, is passing, and you're getting a lot of opportunities to sort this stuff out. And as you're in the area, you're kind of able to glean little bits of other students training in the distance. Like you might see Gabe in the distance as he is doing it looks like very similar training to you, where he is punching at this like stone pillar, but you don't really see anything happening to the stone pillar. It's kind of hard to tell what exactly he's doing just by glancing by him. And you also see Danny off in the distance, as every so often you will see a distant flash of light and hear just a loud crashing sound, as, you know, lightning is striking because of her training. So, you know, it's clear that some other people have gotten some ideas and are making progress as well.
Yeah.
And
I wonder if yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, you go.
I wonder if I could try one of my signature move ideas out. Because we can just have like test dummies basically appear in the dome.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I would like to test an idea I have.
Okay.
And the roll might affect how I feel about the idea.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Sure.
So I've written it down. Adaptive armor shift is the signature move here.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine that Joey has a singular test dummy that is standing basically at the bottom of the canyon.
Mm-hmm.
And Joey is going to fire off a gun at the top of the canyon so that some rocks start to fall towards them, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then I am going to, in a burst of metal, shift the metal armor from my body onto the body of the dummy at the bottom, protecting them from the oncoming damage.
Like you're firing a bullet that shifts into protective armor.
Into an armor, yeah.
Okay, that's really cool. Yeah, let's. So, what benefits and drawbacks are you going to take in this test? And if you fail this, because this is a test, I'm not going to make you mark conditions, but this is going to see how does this feel for you?
So what I like the idea of this being a move that eventually can affect a wide area, and that supports or boosts my allies.
Okay.
The drawback is the drain. I wrote drain me of stamina or missing leaves me wide open. I couldn't decide between one of those. And then the other one I put is can only be used once per day. Because in like not a practice sense, but if this ends up being the one that I take, I like the idea of being able to almost be like a burst of metal coming out from me and it actually making armor for like multiple allies or multiple people in trouble at once. And then something I wrote down in parentheses was that it'd be cool if it was heroes, all allied heroes given the armor can take like a +1 to their next roll, basically. Was something I wrote down.
Okay. Yeah,
not if it's NPCs or like, you know, people in trouble, but that being specific to the team.
That makes sense. Yeah, roll as you are practicing this initial, you know, rock slide down to this dummy.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
This definitely seems like something you're capable of doing as you fire this shot, and it becomes. I mean, what does the armor look like? Is it like Mosaic's armor? Is it like generic, like low poly metal armor?
The thing is the initial inspiration for this scene was totally the Iron Man moment where you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Where the room explodes and he just calls the suit and it just immediately goes around. Why am I forgetting her name? And it just immediately like goes around them. And I'm almost thinking not like an Iron Man suit exactly, like not that detailed by any means. But kind of like that in the sense where it fits to their body and then it has like just open where the eyes are kind of so that they can still see.
Or has some kind of visor or something.
Yeah, I think a visor, yeah. Exactly. And it's like a temp thing, so it's to immediately block whatever is coming at someone. And then that's why I said maybe like heroes given the armor can take a +1 to their next roll, because then it can look in a way that's like, oh, and for the next attack they do that, and the armor shatters and adds like an extra layer of oomph to whatever punch they throw or something like that.
Yeah, this practice goes swimmingly as you have this idea for something that you can execute on, and as you do it, even just on one target, you're like, okay, so like practically, I think I could do this. It's just a matter of how far I can extend myself, and then, by that metric, extending yourself far enough is like, well, it's going to use a lot of me, so I can only do it so much, but
yeah,
a really
exactly.
good move for protection. And as you do this, you hear a voice at the bottom of the canyon call out to you as one of your upperclassmen walks onto the scene and looks up to you and says, "Hey, could you come down here for a sec?"
Yep. And I rocket boot down this full ramp of a canyon. I kind of like, as I lead up to them, I do the thing where I like turn my skates to the side and dust comes up. What's up?
You slide down and skid to a stop next to him, and he just gives a little nod to the drone that you just protected and says, "I saw that as I was going by. That was pretty impressive reaction time."
Oh, thanks. I'm trying to get quicker.
He gives a nod and says, "That power uses a part of you, right?"
Yeah.
So it's going to have some... Well, I guess if you use it too much, it'll leave you open, but it seems like it'll be pretty effective, given they're still standing after that boulder fell on them.
That's what I'm hoping for. And, I mean, for me, when I get damaged, I just come right back. Not everyone has that ability.
That is true. And he kind of thinks for a second and holds up his hands as his hair kind of shimmers and bristles a little bit as he generates a layer of frost over himself, and like low poly ice armor kind of starts to form over his body. And he just says, "I would focus on practicing with the density of the armor rather than having it be too intricately shaped, just so you don't accidentally make it too brittle. That's how I was able to make my armor tougher. Over time, you'll get more used to the shape, though."
Yeah, I'm realizing that the part that makes it intricate is, since everybody's bodies are shaped different, I kind of have to think on the fly how it has to be fitted to them, if that makes sense. But at the same time, it's almost like the metal knows what it's doing.
He kind of gives you a once-over as the ice armor vanishes into what looks like snow that blows in the wind around him. And he says, "It may suit you to think a little less rigidly, actually. I use ice, which is very rigid, but it starts as snow, which is not. Maybe the way that you will use this armor be a little more like liquid, if that makes sense."
More fluid.
Yes.
I can try.
He nods and he kind of pulls up a tablet, taps a few buttons on it, and suddenly there are a bunch of drones scattered in the area around you both. And he steps back and says, "I am going to attack all of these drones at once. I want you to see how many you can protect with that image in mind.
God. Yeah, I can definitely try.
He nods, and his hair starts to stand on end a little bit as he raises his hands. The snow pulses in an aura around him. And once again, your sensors are blaring at you as he initiates a move that, like Colossus, it goes off in the fraction of a second. And the area around you goes into flash freeze as he attempts to freeze all of these drones. Roll to test this with your highest label.
Can I get a +1 from his advice?
Yes, you may.
Okay. Yeah!
Yeah, what does this look like as you have this advice in mind for how to use your armor?
I feel like there's the briefest moment where, I don't know, does he raise his hands or anything when this happens, or is it just kind of like he's standing in front of me, the drones come out, and then in a blink of an eye, the frost descends? Like, does he do any kind of motion or anything?
It seems like as he's looking at you, as if you are like watching for emotion, he purposefully raises an arm, and then throws it out to the side.
As he does that, because I got this full hit, I want to be badass about it. I want to say Joey also doesn't lose the eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
Joey facing him, not even turning to look at the targets and stuff, also raises an arm, and it's in that moment that everything becomes sheathed in the armor pieces from Joey.
Mm-hmm.
And after they do that, though, I want to say they have a brief moment of like being like, "Huh, yeah," and then also though their armor on themselves starts to like form over once again to like fill in cracks and gaps a little bit that just got essentially ripped from me, and I'm like, ow.
You got that hidden on the inside, and yeah, these pieces of armor like almost seem to melt mid-air into these like globs, like paint that splatter across them and then harden to form these nicely formed protective suits of armor. And as the flash freeze happens and they are all coated in what looks like a layer of ice, he glances around and notices that the drones are able to move back and out of the ice. It's kind of like in cartoons where somebody has an ice power and they shoot it at someone and it creates the layer like on the front facing side of them.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah,
not fully behind them. Your armor's protected them so they can move out of the ice and run off. And then he just hits a button on the holographic pad and the drones disappear. And he looks to you with a nod and says, "Very good. I think with more practice, that will be quite a useful protective move for you."
Thanks. I've been, like I said, I've been practicing, but it's been kind of tricky. I really like your advice.
He nods and just says, "Your power just reminded me a bit of my own, so I figured I would give what advice I could."
Joey has like a brief moment in their head where they're just kind of happy that it's cool to meet so many cool superheroes and for each of them to be like, hey, that's kind of like what I do. And Joey's like, yeah, I can do a little bit of a lot. Jack of all trades.
He offers you a bit of a smile and just says, "If you don't mind, I'm going to keep an eye on your training for a little bit. See if there's anything else I can help with, or if you want any practical training from me. Something a little, physical. Yes,
You mean you want to fight?
we could."
Joey smirks. Cool, because then you could see my other idea for my signature move. And I just power up a rocket boot and kick my foot to the ground and make a small crater in the rock.
You do this.
And I call this one Rocket Powered Kick.
He just gives a little smile and says, "The name might need some work, but I'm sure you'll have a wide arsenal of moves. And
I did a little description. It just says Joey lifts up her robotic leg and with a rocket powered thruster kicks bad guys into the ground so hard it makes a crater. KO.
KO!
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna fight this guy and spar with this guy basically and practice new techniques and stuff like that. I like the idea that we maybe even do something where we have like the drones that need saving and I've got to get past him in order to do so or something like that.
Yeah, you kind of bounce between having either him acting as an obstacle or for your more offensive moves that you have in mind. You have him kind of just defending and adapting to what you're doing. And I want you to roll to... Let's have you roll to assess the situation.
Sure. See how that goes. All right.
Yeah, as you are sparring with him and practicing with him, it seems like the vibe you get is that he is trying very, very hard to help teach you. Like he is trying to think, what can I say that's gonna be useful? While also just when it comes to the practical parts of training, the physicality is just a very natural, like, okay, I can just use my powers and speak with this.
Yeah.
Seems a bit easier for him to communicate that way. But moreover, you also notice that whenever you go on the offensive and him on the defensive, that seems to be where he's very naturally just able to defend against attacks with his moving ice or snow layers, almost like automatically to defend against your attacks.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, you continue training with good old Frostbite here as we will move along to the city once again, because we have a lot of people in the city. A lot of people practicing.
I do love
in the city.
urban warfare.
And as we move back to the city, Echo and Terry, both of you kind of, are making your way through your training. And once again, kind of like Joey, you are reaching a point where maybe you can take a break, you can move around, check on other people's training. Joey, is persisting in this training because their battery just keeps going. They just want to keep learning and absorbing. For both of you, we'll start with Echo. What do you kind of have in mind as you take a break? Do you want to just sit and rest? Do you want to check on anyone in particular, see how they're doing? What's Echo want to do?
Actually, would Echo know Terry's around?
I guess, Terry, would you have kept where you're training? Because you wouldn't have kept it a secret or anything. You would have been like,
No.
Hey, don't come into this building while I'm training. And then it has the caution tape.
Yeah.
So you'd have
Very
a pretty
easy to find.
Yeah, you'd have a pretty good idea where Terry is.
Echo would go to see Terry, so probably.
Yeah, you come up on this building as it's got these holographic caution tapes around it, and Terry, of course, you are coming off of the training and kind of moving out of the building to get out of your hotbox as you are also moving to go on break.
Harry walks out of the darkness, just stretches back, cracks it. Oh, hello.
Hey, how'd it go? He kind of looks at the building behind.
It's a work in progress, but promising. If not a little inefficient, but promising.
How are the new? How's the new mask? And he kind of taps the side of his head to like.
Oh, I was actually making a point not to use it, but when I was using it, it worked well.
Fair enough. You were nearby. I thought I'd check in on you.
Thanks. I do have a lot of ideas that I want to kind of workshop with you on, but some of them are a bit extra.
What do you mean?
I was just thinking of application methods.
Okay.
You know, we did the slime at one point. You know, that was fun. That honestly, it freaks people out. Nobody likes having slime thrown at them. But things are more subtle. I was thinking like heavy metals.
Okay. So what do you need me? What are you thinking with me then?
There's a lot of ideas I have. I'm currently just sorting through them.
Can you?
Do you have access to chemicals? I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed there anymore. Is Terry allowed in like the chemicals place any like the
No, you
science
are,
lab anymore or no?
If you are allowed into an area, it is with strict supervision. Like you're kind of on probation after everything
Yeah.
that happened.
They really got their eyes on me. And well, the things I'm going to be working on, I suppose if you looked at them at face value, it could be misconstrued as malicious. But really, it's just like idle thoughts. And I'd rather try things than, you know, not try them and then be like, ooh, what if that worked? So, you know, it's just stuff like that.
What are you trying to make though?
Well, you see, I was thinking, you know, with my fear toxin, main problems with it, A, you have to either ingest it or, you know, breathe it in for it to have an effect. So I was wondering, could I make some sort of agent where it could get through the skin barrier? And then I was thinking, well, that's kind of useful, but depending on like the organics of the thing I'm using it against, that could be kind of, you know, wishy-washy. So my immediate thought went to heavy metals. You know, most organics don't actively have ways of sifting those out of the body very easily. But then I was also thinking, like, what are the ethics behind that? Like, I don't want to damage someone's liver or like give them permanent nervous system damage. So I was going through all the heavy metals in my head, like, ooh, iron. You know, it's really easy to get iron if you need it. If you're iron deficient, there's a lot of things you can do. But how do people get iron out of themselves? They bleed. So iron would be a very safe, moderately, method of delivering a fear toxin, which the body wouldn't be able to filter out easily other than bloodletting. And even then, they'd have to immediately understand that A, they've been affected by something, and the delivery method was heavy metals. So then it becomes, how do I apply something like that? I was thinking a powder. I was thinking maybe like a sharp scaled glove where, you know, I scratch them with it. I was thinking spikes or perhaps even needles. But again, that's the part I'm workshopping. What is the most efficient and generally stealthy delivery method for heavy metal based toxin?
I'm not sure.
I know, right?
Are these the things you think about sometimes?
Oh, yeah, well, like, there's a lot of things I think about. This is just one of them. Again, this is just one method. What I was doing in there is another. You know, density versus application. Because I also have to think of people understand somewhat how my powers work. They're not exactly subtle. So I can use that to my advantage. If they think they understand how my powers work or how they can be applied, and then those rules break, they would no longer understand. A little bit of trickery. Mind games, you could say.
I see.
Technically, it's psychochemical warfare, but that does not have as good of a ring of it.
Have you ran any of these just by Nightwalker, possibly?
Nope.
See if he'd approve.
Again, I just thought of them while I was in there.
Oh, well, maybe you
This is
should
new
pull out
thoughts.
a few of those past Nightwalker, just in case, you know, you don't want to get in trouble.
Ooh, I
around
could also
that.
mix it with smoke grenades.
You should really run these past Nightwalker, just in case.
Well, of course, I thought of the ethics muchly. I'm not just going willy-nilly and going with every idea I have in my noggin, Echo. That would be a bad idea. I know that for sure.
Right.
But, you know. Gotta evolve, Echo. Trying times, doing the same old thing over and over and over again, that'll stop working eventually. So I gotta play on that a little bit.
You know what? Fair enough. I can respect that, especially where I'm from. I was gonna ask, have you seen Triff around? I have a question I gotta ask her at some point today.
Terry does like a look around, because if you can't see Triff right now, the answer is gonna be no.
You're looking around, and you have not seen Triff in the city. But you guys have the idea that if you want to look for somebody, you can probably find them if you look around.
No, I'm not seeing her right now. Terry looks straight up. Yep, no, but probably be pretty easy to find anyone you really want to find. We're not exactly hiding. He points to the building behind him.
Fair. Here, and Echo kind of like rummages through like his poncho as he pulls out like a granola bar and hands it to him.
Ah, nutrition. Good idea.
You're welcome. Just wanted to check on you. He kind of pats his shoulder. I need to go find Triff. I'll,
Thanks, Echo.
you're welcome.
Stay
Catch you
safe.
later. Of course, and he like extends his hand as his gauntlet shoots out his crossbow, or not his crossbow, his grappling hook, and he kind of zips off.
All right. Hey, you go off to go find Triffany. Terry, are you just chilling out during your break time, or do you also want to find and catch up with somebody to see what they're doing?
Oh no, he'd like sit outside the building and eat the granola bar, and then he's gonna go right back to it.
Okay. And yeah, you end up eating the granola bar, taking a nice little break, and heading back inside. And we will follow Echo as he makes his way to find Triffany. And you're able to move through the regions quickly enough, especially since you can pull out your bike and move around. And just checking around with various students, you are able to discover that Triffany is in the space region. So you make your way over to that area.
Space, like space. Oh, yep, space.
As you end up making your way out here, and on all of these scattered roads made of light, eventually, as you are driving around on this like subspace highway, eventually you spot Triffany in the distance, and you see her practicing as everyone else is, and you just see that she is like practicing on some of these drones, but kind of huffs to herself as you skid to a stop near her, and she is kind of like flying and flutters over to your platform and says,
"Oh, hello there, Echo. Pleasure to see you."
Hey, why? Actually, no, I think I know why you're here. You having a rough time with the drones?
Yes, my powers are, well, they are effective on organics. Yes, these drones are able to simulate my effects on them, but it is hard for me to say how effective I am really being in the grand scheme.
What are you trying to do on them?
Oh, actually, you are the perfect person to ask about this. Do you remember when I battled you and Lily in the midterms?
Yes.
Yes, the
Yes.
thing that I did that almost made you throw up?
Yes.
I am practicing that.
Oh,
Mhm.
fantastic.
Yes,
I
I call it
see
my
why that would be.
hypnotic parade. I will be making the enemy hallucinate more versions of myself as I continue to move about and just disorient them in general. Mental warfare on the battlefield.
You know, it's funny, Triff, you kind of inspired me with something.
Oh?
With, and he pulls out his hollow discs and kind of gives it a shake. I was inspired by you with that, but that's besides the point. Tell you what,
You
if
made
you
a mental
answer a question,
biscuit?
no, here, and he kind of like gives like a little nudge to his earring as he kind of throws out the disc as another echo kind of forms beside him.
you form this hologram, and she like opens her mouth and covers it, and then she just giggles and says,
Oh, Echo, you silly copycat.
and she shoves you a little bit, but like playfully, but a little bit too hard, and she just kind of chuckles as she starts waving her hand through the hologram's face, like very hard to make it like wobble in the air. She's like,
Oh.
Kind of like smells falls.
It looks wonderful. Yes, misdirection is quite useful.
Yeah, no, that whole fight kind of helped me with that. I've used them a couple times. They're quite helpful. And he kind of extends his hand as the disc flies back to his gauntlet, and he tucks it back under his poncho.
she smiles and just says,
I am so flattered that you would be inspired by me, Echo.
Yeah.
Are you trying to make some of the cookie points with me?
No. What? No, don't think so.
Did I use the term wrong? Is it the chocolate points? Do you understand
No.
the term I am using, Echo? Everyone uses it.
I think I've heard it once or twice. I don't know.
Oh, Echo,
not
you
used
have much
rhyme.
to learn.
Yeah. I do have a question for you though. It's kind of been bugging me for a while. Where I'm from, Megea, there's you have clearly met a lot of different like beings out in the stars. I'm curious, have you seen a ship like this? And he kind of like flips through his journal and kind of shows her the wreckage of a particular ship he was inquiring about a long time ago. It's kind of been bugging him.
Yeah, you show her this picture, and she looks at it, kind of squints her eyes and tilts her head a bit. And then her antenna kind of jolt upright a little bit. She goes,
Oh, yes, I do believe I recognize the make of this ship. Where did you say you found this again? In your home?
Yeah, in the home. Ships sometimes crash. Ruins, scavengers pick it clean usually. It's mostly not garbage, but it was quite a popular wreck for a while. Why?
I suppose that is not entirely... What is the word I'm looking for? That
Plausible?
it makes enough sense, I suppose. But aside from that, yes, I do believe I recognize the make. It is just shocking, and
she kind of trails off as she's looking at it.
Who usually flies these types of ships?
well, these ships are made of a peculiar material. They are not very common. So when you see them, you are well aware that they are run by. They are widely known as interlopers. Does that word mean anything in your language?
Echo's face kind of tugs into like a line, and he kind of nods.
Yes.
Yeah.
These interlopers, they are... How would I describe them? They are many
Troublesome?
things. Yes, very troublesome, but they are many things in the galaxy and surrounding. They perform many of the illegal acts, stealing various things, introducing technology via unsavory markets. They do quite a lot, and they move around quite a lot. They are known as interlopers because they are not welcome. Yes, in the realms that they enter, they are not necessarily from there, like the intruders. They peddle armaments. They are also known widely as poachers of a kind. I have run into them in the past as they have hunted my kind before.
Is there a way to tell them apart from, people, possibly?
Are you familiar with them, I can assume?
In a way. I can... Well, this metal, I assume it might shift to size, change, that kind of
Yes.
deal.
It is very hard to track due to it moving in these impossible ways. The ships don't make a lot of sense, but practically are very sound. As for telling them apart, they are very good at hiding. It is a necessity for them to slink through where they are not wanted. They have these faces that they wear that can change who they are. it is very difficult to understand, as it may change their voices as well. But it is technology. It is not something like what Lawrence uses, but it is also very unsavory technology. Not something that you wish to see a lot of in the galaxy.
I see. If it bothers you, Triff, we don't gotta talk about it much more. Thank you, though.
It is troubling, but I am fine. If you are having troubles with such individuals, I would like to offer what I can to help, but it is a little unsettling to hear about them again after this time.
It'll be fine. I just, inquiring. I was curious about the ship, so thanks. I appreciate it. He kind of closes the journal and tucks it under his poncho.
She
Um,
offers a nod.
Not to, shift topics on you so rapidly, but the reason I ask is because I think, well, I know my gauntlet is actually their tech. I stole it from them a long time ago.
She kind of tilts her head and looks to your gauntlet and says,
It is their tech. Can you explain a little?
It kind of shifts. When I stole it from them, I saw the masks you were describing. Here, Echo kind of takes off his gauntlet as I sure. Would it expand?
yeah, it would expand a little bit.
He kind of offers to put it on her hand to show how it shifts.
And you watch as it does. It not only shrinks to fit her arm, but also even the fingers meld to fit to her hand, as it is a different physiology from yours, which is maybe a little unsettling to watch at first, as some of the fingers fuse together as she puts it on. And she flexes it and says,
But your technology is much like what Lawrence does, is it not?
It is. I've modified this a little bit and changed it, and he kind of flips, he takes her hand and kind of flips it over to show her, his additions. It's similar, but not quite. It all pulls from, a power source. As I said, I've modified it, but it was originally their design.
She kind of furrows her brow at that and takes it off and hands it to you. As you put it back on, the gauntlet can form back to your arm's shape, as she shakes her head a bit and says,
I highly doubt it is of their design.
Really? I thought it was made of the same metal.
It may be made with the same or similar metal, but it does not mean that they designed it. The interlopers are not creators, they are thieves. Even the ships that they pilot, they are very likely not originally theirs or of their design. I do not have firm basis on this theory, but given their track record, I do not understand why they would peddle weapons in the way that they do if they were the ones designing them, and why they would need to be as secretive and flighty as they are.
I see. That's interesting.
But you received it from them?
I stole it from them. There was a deal between them and I think a gang. No, I know it's a gang. And I stole the gauntlet and got trapped in Gaia for a bit when I was younger.
It does sound as though they were peddling stolen goods. It tracks with their operations, at least in my mind.
Thank you, Triff. This has been enlightening.
Oh, I do hope so. It is quite bright here, in fact. If
We
you
are in
wish,
space.
If you wish, we can talk somewhere where it is a little less bright.
No, this is fine. Well, it's fine. I actually kind of like it here. Just very
Yes.
pretty.
It is very pretty here. But when I saw that this was one of the regions, I figured that I must come back to visit. My training can be done in most places, but I like the look here, and it does remind me a bit of home.
You miss home?
She kind of looks down in thought a little bit.
I do not know.
Kind of walks over and gives her a little pat on the shoulder. Here, because you helped me, if you want, you can practice your move on an organic target like me.
Oh,
I won't.
Echo,
Fine.
are you flirting with me?
No, this isn't flirting. This is helping. I'm helping you. You help me, so I'm helping you, because, those bots, they don't, it can
Echo,
simulate.
you silly boy, you wish to be within my mind's palace?
No, I'm just helping. This is helping you, and it lets you, get better as a hero, right? This is teamwork. We're team working things out.
Yes, I am more than happy. I believe it will be more suitable than the inorganic targets. Please let me know if you feel the need to spill your guts. I will help you if you do, yes?
Sounds good. Tell you what, you help me with this, and then I'll even I'll show you my move too. Just we'll practice.
Show me yours, I'll show you mine. She's like, she seems very giddy to have a guinea pig, and begins to practice on you. And eventually this evolves into not just you being a test dummy for her move, but you two exchanging a bit of advice and also sparring with each other as, you remember she is very physically oriented, so sparring
That's part
with
of the
her,
reason why he wanted to do that, because he's like, well, she's good at probably sparring, so he would probably want to learn a thing or two from her in terms of like fist fighting, because she is a warrior princess, but also possibly even like her flying around is good moving target for him to like work on, like using his grappling hook to like shoot, latch, punch something that's moving, because chances are there's also enemies like that. So he thought, we can train together.
Yeah, you two train together. She seems to very much enjoy it, and she is just. It feels like every time she giggles and teases you, it feels like she is flirting with you throughout the battle. As you both
He's just
continue to fight.
red in the face throughout this whole thing.
And every time you're caught off guard, she punches you in the face and keeps going. And
This is almost like the bots again.
It's like, what the hell? Mental warfare! As you two spar, and you keep going in the lights of space. As we will make our way back over to the city that you came from, past Terry's closed up building, to Lily's training. As Lily, throughout this training, you can tell that Nightwalker's wanting to take a very firm approach to training you. As there may be breaks every so often for your sake, he also tends to move your training from location to location, one, to keep you on your toes, and two, so that he can keep an eye on nearby students. And yet, the whole time seems to be giving you ample attention in order to let you practice, spar with you, giving you some drones to practice with, and guide you in this fighting style of his, which you have noted that he keeps just kind of describing the fighting style, giving you tips, all very useful for your training, but he hasn't actually given it a name or anything. As eventually you two kind of finish a round, and he nods to you and says, "All right, you may take a break here, an extended break this time. I do not want you to overwork yourself already."
Did Lily at any point manage to get a hit in?
Roll danger for me. Let's see.
I'm so great at that.
it's very hard for you to get a hit in on him while you are training with him, as he has, you're basically fighting the master of this fighting style.
Yeah.
But when you're training with drones and stuff, obviously you're able to kind of misdirect, maneuver around them and hit them, but while training with Nightwalker, it still seems pretty difficult to land a hit on him.
Yeah, I think every time he like pushed her off onto drones, is how she felt about it. She would get immediately annoyed and just, it wouldn't even be a good test of the fighting style. She just would find the quickest way to brutally destroy the drone to be like, all right, I'm done with it. Can we get back to it?
Almost like it's just a barrier to be like, no, hey, I'm not done with. I'm not done yet.
I'm not done yet.
But yeah, at this point, he gives you a nod, and it's been a little bit of a physical exertion going for as long as you have, and he just motions for you that you have the freedom to take a break, check in with other students, or just sit and relax to yourself, to take a moment to breathe.
Lily nods. And the second he turns around and start walking away, she's gonna run up and try to kick him.
Okay, roll with
She's gonna run up and like jump kick, knowing that her blind spot would be right beneath her. So she, like mid-air, she is twisting her body to preemptively try to swing beneath her.
All right, roll your highest label for me.
Damn
Okay.
it all.
You run up and you're like, all right, I go, yeah! You run up and jump to kick him, and he spins around and blocks with his forearm, but you do manage to make a pretty solid impact as he deflects and you kind of bounce off of him a bit. And he just gives you a level gaze and says, ideally, you are going to continue to train in finesse rather than brute strength.
I mean, I can do both.
He gives a second to think about that and says, I suppose in adapting this style to yourself, that is very likely true. And he kind of turns to fully face you and says, I understand that you may not be done yet, but it is imperative to take a break, even if only momentarily. It does not need to be long.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to run, after I get my first hit, that's fine with me.
He just gives a little shake of the head and turns to keep going.
Well, he starts backing up in case he's about to turn around, like almost expecting him to turn around and try to get a hit.
As he keeps walking away, it only mounts like more and more of the potential pressure as he eventually just drops down off the side of the building.
Lily turns around and starts running because now he's out of sight. He can be anywhere.
Does Lily just stay on alert and try to, tail Nightwalker and just keep the training going, or is she actually going to run away and try to go take a break somewhere?
She'll go find Olivia.
Okay. Yeah, you run for a bit, and you and Nightwalker have a little more of an extended, end to your training. But eventually enough silence surrounds you that you're like, okay, I think that he's gone.
Okay, hang on, wait. So does he... Because I was thinking Lily, overly paranoid. He's just leaving to go check on other students, but she's like, he could be anywhere. Are you saying he does at some point pop out?
At one point, he pops out to make sure you're on guard, and then he leaves and he doesn't come back.
It's that guy's problem.
Yeah, you end up making your way through a few of the streets, and eventually you end up finding Olivia. Not really exactly where you found her, but you see that the city block she has been in is just utterly annihilated, as she is just kind of sitting on the corner of a sidewalk, arms around her knees, as she's just sort of taking a break.
Lily rappels down a building beside her. Hey, girl.
Oh, hey Lily. I like your costume.
Thanks.
And she just kind of looks around to all of the destroyed buildings nearby and is just staring at them.
So you've been busy.
Yeah, I found a new use of my power.
That's good. I mean, you know, so long as you're not, like, pushing it or anything.
She kind of hugs her knees a bit tighter when you say that.
Lily sits down on the curb next to her. I don't know if I've ever asked, what do you even, like, because, you know, people have been talking about it recently with, like, the whole, what is it? Search and rescue, crime fighting. Is there a third one?
Yeah, in your mind, because you're so intrinsically, you know, ready with the files.
So true.
You know that generally, and it's kind of, there are some gray areas, but generally it's understood that there's like active crime fighting jobs where you're seeking out and taking on targets, villains. There's search and rescue, which is self-explanatory, and then more like investigative reconnaissance work. Those kind of seem to be the three major fields of active hero work, rather than like the back lines, where there's a lot of other stuff like medical and just, you know, intel gathering, stuff like that.
Yeah, do you have an idea what you're trying to go for, or is it just kind of, you know, you're just here?
Well, I mean, for a long time I've just been here, and my power does one thing. I think I'd really like to do search and rescue if I'm gonna be doing anything. I like the idea of protecting people more so, I guess, than, well, I guess even investigative work, but I don't think I'm smart enough for that.
Oh, you're smart.
She kind of tilts her head a little bit to the side, like back and forth, and just says,
But not the actual crime fighting. I mean, I'm worried what I'll do.
Yeah, that's fair. I think search and rescue sounds like it makes sense for you.
I'd like to
Pretty
think so.
pretty easy fit. You can just kind of, you know, delete rubble or whatever. Isn't that what you did whenever we had to go to, like, whatever day that was in the dome? I just had a chill day on the slopes.
Yeah.
Like Terry got lit on fire or something.
she gives a nod and says,
Yeah, that was kind of what gave me the idea that maybe there's some stuff I can destroy safely.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's good. Lily pats her on the back.
she gives a little chuckle and looks to you and says,
What field do you think you're interested in?
I'll have to look more into investigation and whatever to know exactly what goes on there. Because if it just kind of becomes like, if it's more like you're a superpowered individual in a fucking cubicle, like you're in an office, and you're doing just, I don't know, data sheet stuff. That sounds like boring.
I would think that kind of work would probably be done in the support course. If you're going to be out and about, maybe you'd be like a super detective.
That does sound fun, but I do want to fight.
she kind of chuckles a little bit at you saying that.
Almost out of, I don't know, I just kind of want to prove I can, and then decide whether I want to keep doing it.
Well, I mean, I think anything you choose, you'll probably be great at.
I don't know about search and rescue. I probably won't be lifting boulders.
Maybe not. But, I mean, you found and saved me, so.
I mean, that's true, but, you know, that was a pretty specific case. I don't think I can do that for anyone who dies.
Kind of just stares at the ground a little bit at that.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. With all of this, using my powers today, I'm not as tired as I thought I would be.
Oh, that's great. I guess you're. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Like I said, a while ago, I feel like I think, learning more control and use to your powers might be good. Hopefully, it stops hurting you.
Yeah, it definitely feels different. I just don't want to give myself too much hope in case I disappoint myself.
Don't worry, I'll hope enough for the both of us.
Thanks, girl.
Which kind
What does
of
Triff want to do? Have you talked to Triff about it? She
Oh.
probably wants to fight crime.
Yeah, it seems like she hasn't put a whole lot of thought in beyond the fighting part.
Hey, you want to know something I've never thought, or rather, I've thought all the time to ask Triff, but just literally never thought whenever I'm in a room with Triff. Why is she here? She's a princess. Why would she want to be a superhero on Earth?
I feel like we've talked about it before. Maybe you've
Have
talked
we?
with me about it before.
I feel like I've talked about it with you. I don't know if I've ever asked her. At least, that specific of, the question.
I feel like I've asked her before.
I don't know, these sessions are months apart.
looks at the camera, shrugs. Olivia gives a shrug and says,
I think we've talked about it before, me and Triff. She kind of likes dodging talking about home when it comes to her not being there, but it seems like she was just eager to be here. Maybe somewhere else.
That's fair.
I don't know how excited she really is about going back home.
I imagine there's a bunch of us here that are here not really with the explicit intent to be a hero, even if this is a hero school. I mean, that's why I came here. Sometimes I wonder if Aiden even knows that this is a hero school, not just a normal school.
Yeah, I have to imagine he was just dumped here.
Yeah, probably.
We do have a lot of not really foreign exchange students, but kind of. Just
Yeah.
a lot of people from off-world. So, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a program they have. By the way, have you seen anyone else in this area of the city? Like us training, I mean?
No, just me and Nightwalker.
Okay. Just wanting to make sure I was pretty careful, but...
she kind of just gestures to the city block that she destroyed and was like,
I wanted to make sure I wasn't scaring anyone away.
I think I'm probably the only person that would die if a building fell on top of them. I don't know what I would do about it, but everyone else, I can think of something they could do, so they'll probably fine.
Olivia thinks about that for a second. Gives a little nod to herself. And just kind of looks to you and says,
I promise I'll never drop a building on you. And if I do, I promise I'll destroy it first before it hits you.
Go, you didn't even need to promise. I never expected you to drop a building on me.
It's
The promise was implied.
It's more that I like you saying that kind of made me think, like, what if? I guess not in a bad way.
Oh.
I mean, like, Like, what if my powers cause something like that to happen? And
It won't. You won't hurt me. I trust you.
She just kind of nods at that and hugs at her knees a little bit again.
Oh, so what kind of training have you been doing?
I was dismantling my gun, my grappling hook for like an hour, and then Nightwalker decided to take me to a random building and start beating my ass.
Oh.
And we just did that for a while.
Sorry?
No, it was more fun than the grappling hook. I'm just mad because I only like actually hit him back like once. He just kept ducking out of the way and saying like, "Oh, you know, misdirection, strike the key points." And it's like, yeah, that's what I'm trying, man.
Olivia just kind of chuckles a little bit at that frustration.
It's like if he came up with new things to say every time, it wouldn't annoy me as much. It's just kind of like the same thing every time.
You'll hit him. I know you will.
I hit him once, but it was kind of like he blocked it. But it was still like contact. It is something, I guess.
Well, that means you're getting better, right?
Do you think I'd get in trouble if I tried to hit him in the middle of class? Because he wouldn't see that coming, for sure. If I just, like, tried to roundhouse him in the middle of class, he would not see that coming.
I don't know. How cool are you with Nightwalker?
We're pretty cool. I'm pretty sure I'm, like, his favorite student.
Olivia thinks for a second and is like,
I feel like I shouldn't promote you trying that, but I would be lying if I said I wouldn't be interested in seeing it happen.
I'll mull on it.
you guys mull on this and kind of just spend some time talking together on the roadside. And we will move the camera away once again to a different region as we return to the collapsed roadside. And Alex, you are continuing your practice. You have been going at it for a while, getting the strict lessons from Desert King before he eventually moved on, just having seen enough of your practice here. But as you land and it's kind of time to take a break, does Alex sit and rest by herself? Is there anyone specifically that she would want to go see their training or check in on them? What's going through Alex's mind here between practice runs?
She probably honestly just gonna want to sit and rest for a bit.
That makes sense. Yeah, you kind of find like a more stable section of highway to sit at the edge of, and just take a breather, look out over the area you're in. And it's honestly pretty calming here when you're not directly next to all of the landslides, as this region is a little more forested, a little more quiet away from the city. And as Alex is taking her break, what's on Alex's mind? Is she focusing on training? Is her mind elsewhere?
Trying to focus on training, but also still kind of lingering on the discussion earlier with Lawrence and Terry, and just kind of the idea of either a demon or an extraterrestrial or extra-dimensional creature. Like, what on earth could she possibly be dealing with? And, like, does this have any connection to her powers or to the meteor? Just kind of a mulling on all of these thoughts.
You're thinking on this, and you suddenly hear a sound that is like wire being pulled taut before you hear something land behind you. And Evan swings in, lands beside you, and just says, "Hey, Alex, taking a break?"
Yeah. You too.
Yeah, it kind of needing a minute. Been pulling my hair out. Mind if I take a seat?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks. And he just kind of sits down, and the mask formed by his suit kind of unravels as he just sits here and shakes his head a little bit. Like, man, I have been jumping around way too much today. How about you?
I feel similar.
Kind of pulls out from his jacket pocket 2 water bottles and offers one to you.
Thank you. I'll definitely take that.
He gives a nod and drinks some water. So, have any ideas for that signature move yet, or are you just kind of practicing like a lot of people are?
I have a couple ideas. I've been focusing on practicing. You remember like the wormholes that I made back during that race, however long ago. I'm trying to figure out how to reliably make that happen so I can move other people for rescue.
Huh. Yeah, I mean that sounds crazy useful, and also a little crazy. I can't believe. I mean, I kind of forget that you can just make wormholes. I mean, we do have somebody in class that can make portals to other dimensions, but it's like different when it's tech, you know?
Yeah, it's inconsistent, definitely. Like I'm sure you know my powers can be, but I think I've been making at least a little bit of progress.
That's all a matter of the mind. I'm sure, you know, you'll figure it out, feel calmer about it. I mean, you're definitely way better about your powers now than you were on the first day. He kind of chuckles and nudges you a little bit.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, and I'm serious, really. I mean, you've been making a lot of progress, so, you know, it might not come immediately, but just try not to get yourself too down about it, right?
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that.
No problem. Seriously, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to stand it if I saw you not trusting that you could do it. I mean, you're like maybe the strongest kid in our class. I guess that's up to debate. Power scaling, whatever. But I mean, like,
I think Gabe might have me out for that one.
I don't know. I mean, you're pretty damn strong. Plus,
maybe one of these days we should. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it would make me feel a lot better if I got my ass handed to me by the strongest kid in class rather than second strongest. So I'll always be in your corner for that reason.
Well, thank you. And just, you know, with finals coming up and everything, I've been thinking it's been a while since we really did any one-on-one training together. Is that something maybe we can spend some time doing?
Maybe a little bit. And he kind of
just a little bit.
He chuckles and is clearly like oh, I mean, like, yeah, but and you know, you're kind of like joking around with him, but also like, hey, I mean, we could. And he's looking around like, I mean, maybe I could show you my new signature technique. They've kind of had the idea for it for a while. It's more kind of mastering it is the issue, but it maybe could be pretty fun. As you're talking with them, you hear a beeping sound coming from your stuff.
A beeping sound? What's that about?
Yeah, you want to check your things?
Let's take a look. Oh no, not the meteor alarm.
You check your things, and at first you think it might be like your student pad, but you pick it up and you don't have any notifications. And then you realize the beeping is coming from deeper in your bag. And when you search through your bag, you realize the beeping is coming from the tracker you've been keeping an eye on.
For the creature?
Mm-hmm.
Is it getting closer? What's happening?
You pick it up and look at it, and you realize that it has started to beep because the tagged creature has entered within a certain radius of you. It is on the island, and it is fast approaching.
Oh shit.
What? And suddenly, you hear the sound of tearing metal as something smashes through the ceiling of the dome high above you. The sky panels glitch around the newly formed hole, and a blue streak flies down, crash landing a distance away from you in another area. What the fuck was that?
Something we need to deal with now.
He, hears the urgency in your voice, and his suit whips back over his body. He's like, okay, you fly as fast as you can, and he kind of, attaches his threads to you. He's like, I'll hang glide.
Alright.
Alright, you go?
I power up and float into the air and speed off towards where it landed.
Alright, yeah, you fly into the air, and with almost like a sonic boom, you crack through the air, and he flies along behind you, attached and carrying on your speed. And for everyone that is in your various areas of the dome, all of you have noticed this. The tearing of metal, the crashing, and this blue streak that has landed somewhere far away from you. Far away from all of you, except for one. As we are going to move here.
Oh no! Oh.
As Joey, you are training with Frostbite, and suddenly you hear the crash through the ceiling. You look in its direction, and suddenly a blue streak smashes into the ground, causing a massive crater to form and dust to spill up and surround you completely. Frostbite also puts his arm up, forming a little bit of ice armor, and takes an offensive position. And as you look at the crater, this familiar creature stands up, looks at you, and roars.
Oh, fuck.
And as you see this creature, you hear Frostbite behind you just say, "You," and time seems to slow down for you. And as time slows down, you hear the high-pitched screaming of your core echoing in the back of your head. For some reason, this moment feels very significant to you. As you and Paisley stand next to each other and face off against the creature, that is where we are going to call it for today.
Yeah.
Damn.
Evil spot to stop it. Evil spot.
I do love that before this session, because we have to do different times and shit, I do remember Ethan saying, it's been fun knowing that I can, write in cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Ethan would never do that.
I
Stole
love
that
Now we're here.
from me and my DMing style.
Wow, Will, you heard it here first, guys. Will invented cliffhangers. That's crazy.
Cliffhangers.
Yeah, that's great.
You did it well. I'm so
I believe
proud
that.
I get to know you.
This is great.
So yeah, that wonderful cliffhanger is where we are going to leave off for today, and we are going to go around and do some end of session moves.
What?
God.
Okay.
You said you hit a perfect what? Like the fucking it's a piece of cake to bake a pretty cake. What? What?
Yeah, let's go down the list. We'll start with Alex. How do you feel about today? Did you grow closer to anybody, grow away from anybody, grow into your image of yourself? How you feeling?
I would say closer to Lawrence and Terry, kind of revealing that little bit of her problems.
Yippee.
Okay. If you had to pick one, who would you pick?
Probably Lawrence, because he's the one that she came to for help for his magical insight.
Okay. Then if Lawrence doesn't already, you can give influence to Lawrence.
I will add him.
Let's see here. Next, we're going to move along to Echo. Echo, how are you feeling today?
I feel like Echo kind of grew into himself, like he grew into his own image.
Mm-hmm.
That way of that he's getting better at directly engaging a threat. So I would like to shift. Probably freak down and danger up.
Okay.
One.
Makes sense.
I feel like that's because he's focusing less on his powers and more on directly engaging someone. Like, it's not like it's lost, but it's not like he's just kind of getting better with one thing. Right?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Joey, how you feeling after the end of all this?
Yeah, so I definitely grew into my image of myself. Regarding feelings, like for the end of session feelings, I think that by growing into myself, I'm feeling more prepared for battle.
Mhm.
And then a battle basically just brought itself to me. And I'm going to shift mundane down and danger up.
Okay. Makes sense.
I'm feeling dangerous.
Feeling dangerous, feeling ready for the battles ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Lily, how we feeling?
I don't think grew into image because she's still figuring that out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'll go with, just because even if this session in particular wasn't the strongest case of it, I think I'll go with growing closer to Olivia, just on account of all of what has happened in sessions, the past like 3.
Okay. Then she'll get to shift your labels because I believe she already has influence over you, doesn't she? Or does she? Yeah, she does. What does she want to see from Lily? I think she's gonna move your freak down, and she's gonna move your savior up.
I accept this.
That is definitely how she sees you.
And then I'm going to clear a condition. Because
Okay.
you get to mark potential or clear a condition, and for once I'll do the condition one.
What are you gonna
I
clear?
think I'll get rid of hopeless, because that makes less sense to keep than angry does to me.
Okay.
Even if I don't think Lily is that angry anymore.
Yeah, maybe just more frustrated than anything at the moment, but figuring stuff out. Makes sense. All right, then we will end with Terry. How are your end of session moves right now?
Terry's gonna grow into his own image of himself.
Wow, really?
He's dialed in. He's locked in. He's doing exactly what he told Joey about.
Lock in.
Sometimes you have to just stop caring and take control. Freak up mundane down. We are getting ready for the event.
Getting ready. Let's get more freak, less normal.
Yeah.
God, where does that put your mundane after all that?
0. It's actually not the lowest one.
It's 0,
Because it
dude.
got like balanced. Like there's been like a ping pong match between like freaking mundane for a while now.
God, you have 3 +1s to your stats. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Your stats are so fucking high. Okay.
Am I still the lowest mundane?
Yeah, does anybody have what's everybody's mundanes actually? Just go around for your modifiers.
Mine is 0.
3.
Oh damn.
Fuck off. You're not 3 mundane. I hate this fucking world.
Alex, what's your mundane?
My mundane is -1.
Okay.
I am the lowest. My name is not important. What's important is what I'm about to do. This is bullshit.
That's
All right.
awesome.
Well, that is the end of our session. Next time, we will have a reunion at the Super Move training camp. Thank you guys very much for playing.
Thank you for hosting.
Yay!
Bad
Oh my
Busters.
Yeah, you're welcome.
God. Bad
That's our new name, by the way, everybody.
I love it.
We're renaming the group chat from Deja Busters because we've busted the Deja to just a blanket Bad Busters. We
All
bust
bad things, not even villainous things, just
if you're
bad.
bad, that's still good.